Round one. Fight! Piece of me? I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Tier Ranker Fights. This is episode number 54. Tonight we're talking best war movies of all time. This is one I've been excited to, mostly for the studying that I got to watch some of the greatest war movies that I've never seen before. So I watched about three or four. So I'll be able to talk about those. And surprisingly, I've seen a lot more than I even thought. It surprised myself. But I'm your host for tonight, Jordan, the war hero Anderson. I'm usually movie hero, but tonight I'll be a war hero. And yeah, we have a fun panel tonight. So I'll go ahead and I'll introduce our panel for tonight. So we have Austin Pez Howell. How's it going?
Jordan, let me see your war face.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? I'm doing good. Yeah. This is one of those things where I surprisingly see a lot of stuff on this list. My dad introduced me to a lot of these war movies when I was younger, so I've got a good foundation. But yeah, they're all interesting. There's some good ones. There's some mediocre ones. There's a couple of bad ones, but we'll see here and there, and what we got. But I'm looking forward to this one. It should be good.
Yeah, and we also have joining us someone who I've been excited to have on, because if there's one place that I'm going to when I go to California, it's not going to be Disneyland or Universal. It's going to be the Scum and Villainy Cantina, absolutely. So we have the owner of that, Mr. JC Reffenberg. How's it going?
It's good. I would like to think my drinks are better and cheaper than those other places you mentioned.
Yeah, nice.
JC, they're paying for it. You drink it.
Yeah, especially Disney, man. Prices are high. Yeah. But yeah. So we have two other people that'll be joining us a little late. They're just getting off of work, so they'll be sliding in soon. But it'll be the three of us for now. So we get to decide. So we better get some.
Let's get them in early. Let's get it done. Get the good ones out of the way, and then we'll get them out before we get here.
Yeah, right.
Good stuff.
Because we get to decide and without their votes until they get here. So, but yeah, we'll just go ahead and we'll get started. So, Austin, you want to break it down as to how it's going to work?
Yeah. So, kind of while I explain this, Jordan will bring up what we call our tier ranker chart. So, what we have is it's like these grids. So, he'll have a charts, and it'll start with S for superior at the very top. So, even above A, JC, even above the A you would get in school, we have S for superior, the best of the best of the best. Right at the top, and we're going to be looking to get some of those in there. But right after S, we have grades in school A, B, C, D, F, and then we have a couple of charts down at the bottom. I can't see it right now, but for haven't seen, which if we have more people that haven't seen it than have seen it on here, and not a war movie, if there's a few on these that maybe controversial, I don't think are a straight war movie. You can argue that as well.
Yeah.
But how it is that's just all the movies that are available. We're not going to sit here and talk about every single one of them. That's not what we do. We just have to have all these available if somebody wants to highlight one of them. But what we do is we go around the horn, and especially when the other guys get here, we go in order. We kind of start at the bottom of the ladder, work our way up, and when it's your turn, you can look at the chart, look at the list, be like, "Hey, I want to talk about this movie. I want to talk about 1917." Okay, cool. We'll talk about 1917. Nominate it for whatever tier you want to nominate it for. So if you think it's just a B movie and you want to talk about why it belongs in the B category, make your case and why in about a minute or so. If you think it's S, one of the best of the best, you talk about I want to put it in the S tier, and this is why. And then we go around the horn, and everybody can either agree or disagree. Hey, I agree with the S tier, or hey, I think it should be in the A tier, something like that. And then what we'll do is we'll get a consensus on everybody's votes. I keep track on a little paper. I keep track a little chart of my own, of all the actual votes where everybody puts it. And so it's like an average. So if somebody has it in the S tier, somebody has it in the B tier, somebody has the D tier, it goes right in the middle in the B tier. So that's kind of where it goes based on the votes. And we go for about 2 hours or so, just kind of find a good place to wrap it up. And then we have what we call a last minute Hail Mary last chance round, where you get to nominate whatever you want last minute, just kind of rapid fire style, and throw them out there if you think there's a few more really good ones still left on the board that you want to shout out. So I promise it's easier than it sounds. Once we get going, you'll kind of see how it works. It's very easy.
Yeah, you'll catch on quick.
Catch on very, very quick, I promise. But yeah, that's how we do it. And essentially, once we have our full 5 people, usually we have to have at least 3 people on the panel who have seen it to get it officially on the chart as far as in a tier. Otherwise, it kind of goes in that haven't seen category down there. We may bridge it to 2 people. We'll see, depending on, because we're kind of least amount of people here tonight, so we'll see. We'll kind of play it by ear and figure it out. But yeah, you can nominate anyone. If you think there's one on there that's absolute crap and you want to throw it in the D or F territory, you can nominate that, and maybe people agree, maybe people disagree. But it's
want to talk about a bad movie sometimes.
Yeah, if you want to talk about a bad one, you don't necessarily have to jump for the best of the best first. You can go do whatever you want. But we look for by the end of the show to get 10 up in that S category. We want to get a top 10 essentially, and then we shout out 3 from the A tier for that honorable mention type of category that we put in the poll in our Facebook group tomorrow, the Schmodown Friends and Family poll, and get everybody to vote on those. So that's kind of how it works, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see what makes that S tier and what makes the other ones. So I hope that makes sense, JC. It's like I said, we'll figure it out as we go along. It's very easy. But since you're at the bottom of the ladder there, you get to go first. You can talk about any of the movies on the list. You can nominate any one that you want. And if you want to shoot for something that you think is in that S tier, one of the best of the best, you can talk about one and nominate it, and Jordan will pull it up visually up to that whatever tier you want. Or like I said, you can go for one of the middle ones, whatever you like.
I'll go with what I think is like one of the best movies of all time. A lot of people always say on the list of every movie that's the best movie of all time, everybody says Citizen Kane. But I actually think Gone with the Wind is a better movie than Citizen Kane.
Ooh,
I would put that in the S category for sure. And my reasoning for that is that, Gone with the Wind came out in 1939. Citizen Kane came out in 1941. And the scope of Gone with the Wind, I think, makes it eclipse Citizen Kane in terms of cinematically speaking. And I think that actually that the story of Gone with the Wind is more accessible and relatable than what you see in Citizen Kane, which is kind of like, I don't know, removed and walled off, and like you kind of have to know that movie is about William Randolph Hearst, and if you don't, then you don't really connect with it the same way. So, Gone with the Wind, I think, is one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah, right. For sure.
All right.
Austin, what do you think about Gone with the Wind?
Yeah, Gone with the Wind is one of those ones that have been on my, just on my bucket list as far as one of the ones I hadn't seen in a long time. But I actually came to it and finally sat down and pulled the trigger and watched it just a few months ago. Actually, it was for another one of our shows we did, because I'd had the Blu-ray sitting on my shelf over there for the longest time and just hadn't pushed it in. And it was really good. I was surprised at how much I got into it. I had to basically watch it over 2 days. I kind of watched like 2 hours of it and then took a break and then came back the next day and watched the back half. So when it got to that intermission in the middle, but I was surprised at how well it held up, how much I liked it. The scale of the movie is really something, especially for 1939. There's the one famous sequence where Miss Scarlet, they pull back and she's amongst that sea of bodies and the people that are wounded, and it's like a whole football field worth of stuff, and it's pretty crazy for 1939. There's people who can't do shots like that today. That would be hard to pull off now, much less in 1939. There's I really love the sequence where they're trying to escape the city and everything's burning, around them, and the carriage, like all that stuff is pretty great. Some of the battles are better than you would think for 1939. I thought it was quite good. I'm kind of on the border of like S and A, but to me it would be more on maybe a low S. I'm okay with S tier. I would keep it more maybe a low. I think there are more straight war movies that are better, if that makes sense, like when we go to rank them later, like traditional war movies. But as far as like war adjacent movies, that kind of deal with the casualties of war, so to speak, no pun intended for a movie that's on the list, but the casualties of war and the surrounding conflicts and the effects of war, I think this is still one of the best. So I think I'll leave it at S tier, but when we go to rank it, I think it would be more of a lower S tier.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you, Austin. I was one that was a little late to the party on Gone with the Wind too. I just watched it I think at the end of last year, and this movie really blew me away. I kind of avoided it because how long it is, and like I'm not always the biggest fan, for anyone who knows me, of a lot of classic movies. There's some that they're kind of either I love it or I get bored by it. It's just one of those things, and so I was a little hesitant with Gone with the Wind, but man, this movie it really blew me away, and it really takes you on a journey, and there's some pretty powerful stuff. I mean, like, not only is it a good love story that kind of has some like pretty interesting things that they go through in their relationship, the kind of back and forth, but the really great war movie. And I would definitely consider a war movie. I mean, the scene where we have Scarlet just walking after the big battle, and you see all the bodies just strewn everywhere, and then she comes on her mother, and it's just like, man, that's just a really powerful scene for me, and something that I actually didn't expect going into this movie. So it just really hit me a lot better than I would have thought. So I don't know if I would go quite S tier. That's a little high for me, just compared to the other movies we have on here. I'd probably go A. For me, it's a solid A, but yeah, I'll say A for Gone with the Wind.
Okay, and we'll probably get the other two guys when they jump in to kind of give their votes as well, just so we can get some more votes and kind of see where it lands. But for now, it'll stay up there.
Majority S, so
so there you go. Yeah, 2 S and an A. I guess I'll nominate something real quick. And yeah, this might be a pretty obvious best of the best one. But it's a movie that I've watched probably 3 or 4 times just recently in the last 2 years. I mean, I'd seen it before that. But I'm surprised at how much I've gone back to it. I've really analyzed it, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite movies of all time, especially since the Final Cut 4K came out. That's Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. I think it has to be a pretty easy one. Yeah, Apocalypse Now. It holds up so well, just from the opening stuff with Martin Sheen kind of losing his mind and in that sort of hotel room, to the doors. Like that stuff is great. The actual battles alone, when they're doing these, helicopter raids on these villages, when you watch them now and knowing even this is from 1979, I mean, the chaos of those scenes is still insane. The practicality of everything. I mean, you just wonder how the hell he got all this stuff done. And obviously, if you watch Hearts of Darkness, it was not easy. The documentary that accompanies it, it was really a feat of something. Even just the stuff on the boats, when they're getting ambushed and all. It's great. Colonel Kurtz, I mean, Marlon Brando, for all the complications he brings to a set, and showing up overweight and being a general pain in the ass, is very intimidating and very great as Colonel Kurtz in the end. It's a movie that just gets better and better and better every time we watch it. It's aged like fine wine, and I just love this movie so much. And if anybody hasn't gone back to watch it again, you do yourself a favor, especially in 4K. Like, go check it out. So it's absolutely gorgeous. I think Apocalypse Now is a pretty easy S tier.
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head, Austin. Like this, like in my opinion, might be the best war movie ever made. Like it's up there. Like there's a debate between a couple for me, but Apocalypse Now is just so good. And I waited a long time to watch it too. I think there's another one I watched at the end of last year, and man, like I was missing out because this movie is like a near masterpiece as far as like war and on the big screen, kind of like it shows all the intricacies and like the relationship between all the different soldiers, but then you see how like Martin Sheen, how he gets kind of involved with the war and everything, and then just all the cinematography too, and all the camera shots are just beautiful. It's like every movie that has similar shots like that, I always go back and compare it to Apocalypse Now because like that's the standard for me, the gold standard. And then I'm also Robert Duvall. I'm a huge fan of his character. Like,
he's awesome.
Smell of napalm in the morning. It's a classic line. So yeah, and then Colonel Kurtz too. They're really intimidating character, especially at the end when you see him become some kind of like almost like a cult leader or like some kind of king or like I don't even know what it is. But
when they pull up on the village, there's just like bodies hanging all over the place and skulls and bones everywhere, and they're sacrificing cows. I mean, it's madness. It's just it's a straight fever dream madness.
Yeah, straight madness. So yeah, that's an easy S tier for me. So I'll say S. But,
JC, what do you think of Apocalypse Now? Yeah.
I'm of two minds of Apocalypse Now. Typically when I think of a war movie, and for most of my life, the things that I really like, I enjoy a more straightforward narrative most of the times than Apocalypse Now gives you, where Apocalypse Now, I think, kind of floats and you're kind of really watching from inside somebody's head out their eyes. Like there's not like the narrative part of that movie, I don't think is the strongest part. I think it does a great job invoking the feeling of war rather than actually like taking you on a journey through war. I mean, all that being said, of course it's an S tier, but I appreciate them, and also infinitely quotable. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It's got to be one of the most quoted things in a movie that's not titled Star Wars. But I think I appreciate Apocalypse Now more than I enjoy Apocalypse Now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's unanimous, though. It goes right to the top of S tier, so we'll leave it right there. So yeah.
All right.
Jordan,
it's your turn to nominate something. So what do you want to talk about?
So I got to go with the one that I used for the thumbnail of this video. So that's I think is not only one of the best war movies ever made, but I think it's one of Stanley Kubrick's best movies. So I got to go with Full Metal Jacket. This movie, the first time that I watched it, one of my best friend who watched it right before he was going into the Marine Corps, because a lot of people who have been in the Marine Corps, they would recommend that if you're going in the Marine Corps, you got to watch Full Metal Jacket, because it's like may not be like super realistic as how it is to our time, but just kind of just shows you like a really cool view of it, and like the way that it's done, it's just really well done, because in the movie not only you have like all the stuff from boot camp, so you get all of that, which for me almost feels like a part 1 and a part 2. So you get the boot camp stuff, and you get the stuff that actually go to war, and the scenes and the movie and just mixed with the music too, it just works really, really well for me. Like whenever I see this, I always think of like bird, 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 bird is the word. That song, like I'm always singing that. but and then obviously you can see from the thumbnail that I have here. I was gonna throw it up here really, really quick. So Lee Ermey, he's one of my favorite actors. Rest in peace. Yeah, or Lee Ermey. Yeah. And yeah, he plays the perfect drill sergeant for like any movie. Like he's great at it, and just all the things that he's screaming at. And then you have the really like brutal scenes with Pyle.
Vincent D'Onofrio, Private Pyle.
Pyle, yeah, it's just like really like some crazy scenes to watch. Like I won't spoil it. The movie is like 30, 40 years old, but I'm not gonna spoil it though. But what happens to his character? But if you haven't seen it, like brace yourself because you're gonna be in for a ride. But yeah, like this movie's great, and just like it just makes me like on the edge of my seat for a war movie where it's like most of the time when I watch a war movie, I'm just kind of watching all the battle scenes, and I don't really feel like I'm gripped. I just feel like it's just like a lot of it is another kind of general war movie. With this movie, I'm gripped from like start to finish. I'm just like just waiting to see what's going to happen next. And yeah, like I'm also big on character driven movies, and I like how you get to know all the different soldiers as characters and the way that they interact and everything. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm gonna say S tier for Full Metal Jacket. Pretty easy. So, but
JC, Full Metal Jacket. What do you think?
Man, I hate to be this guy, and perhaps it's just because I don't love Stanley Kubrick. But I think Full Metal Jacket suffers from some of the same stuff I was describing with Apocalypse Now, or I find like a lot of Kubrick movies, a lot of Oliver Stone, a lot of Quentin Tarantino. It's such a like a saturated view of reality that I have trouble connecting to it. I've actually only seen Full Metal Jacket once, and it was when I was in college, and my roommates all loved it, and I just had a really hard time getting into it. And I've never gone back and revisited it because I just was not that excited. So I hate to say it, but I'm gonna put it at a B. I'll put it
yeah, that's fair enough. Because I can understand how it's kind of like ultra realistic, so I can kind of see how it's not always for everyone. But before you give your thoughts, Austin, we got a couple of people joining us here. So
okay,
we have Richie in the house. How's it going?
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, welcome. And then we also have a pinch hitter for tonight because Jacob Barber couldn't make it. So we have Malcolm, one of our favorite pinch hitters. So yeah, how's it going?
Hey.
What's up?
You all right? Hey.
But yeah, we're talking about Full Metal Jacket. When we come around, you can give your thoughts on the other two. We talked about Apocalypse Now and Gone with the Wind. So, but we'll throw it to Austin.
I'm in the camp where I think this is one of the best war movies of all time. I was just rewatching it again actually this week because I'm ranking Stanley Kubrick on another show I'm doing tomorrow night with Henry Confidential. So I actually just rewatched Full Metal Jacket, again 2 days ago. I do think this is great, and I if you have not gone back to it, I would certainly recommend it because it is kind of a tale of two movies, and that yes, you get the Sergeant Hartman stuff in the boot camp, which is very realistic. But I think R. Lee Ermey creates one of the greatest characters that's ever been put to screen with Sergeant Hartman. I think it's one of the great sort of real performances because he's a real dude. He was a drill sergeant, and he's one of the few guys to ever go to Stanley Kubrick and kind of take over the movie and be like, no, you follow me, and I will give you what you need, and not the other way around. And yeah, I love the first half and even the second half, which I know can be divisive. I still really enjoyed. I like all the stuff with the guys with the division there and Animal and Cowboy and a lot of those guys, kind of running around, and you see the after effects of how Joker's kind of gone from this peacenik guy to being kind of corrupted as well, and documentary in this war. So I'm S tier all the way for Full Metal Jacket. I think it's great, and I would highly recommend a rewatch if you haven't seen it lately. I think it still works very, very well.
Yeah. Malcolm, what do you think for Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, I've only seen Full Metal Jacket once. So it's been a while since I've seen it. I remember it was a very nice sort. I remember that it's a good movie. But I'll probably put it in B myself. It's just maybe if I rewatch it, I'll have a different opinion. But I'm just going from last time I watched it. So at the moment, I'm probably going to have to say B. And I probably would have given Gone with the Wind S and Apocalypse Now maybe A. But that could just be the cut I saw of it. So
yeah. Well,
All right.
Well, that still leaves Apocalypse Now with the unanimous S's because we all give it S's, but then Gone with the Wind's got 2 S's and 2 A's, so it might stay in there for now.
Well, but Richie, do you want to give your thoughts on first Full Metal Jacket and then the other two, if you want to chime in on those since we haven't gotten very far?
Yep, no worries. Full Metal Jacket. It's not my favorite Kubrick war movie. That might come out later. But it's still really great. And I think like everyone crushes at this movie. I'll keep it solidly an S. Gone with the Wind. I'm not as I appreciate it more than I kind of like it. I guess I think it's good. But it's not like it's. I don't hold it in high esteem as other people do. But maybe it is because I came into it late. But I'd still give it a solid A. And Apocalypse Now, I only just came to this recently. I watched the. I can't remember what cut it was. I think, I only watched it maybe within the last year, and it was fantastic. So, S tier for Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with the update,
Yeah.
I'll give you an update real quick, Jordan. So Gone with the Wind has 3 and 2, so it's still skirting into S tier as of right now, 3 S's and 2 A's. Apocalypse Now, 4 S's and 1 A, so it's still kind of near the top. And Full Metal Jacket has 3 S's and 2 B's, so we'll kind of see. It's kind of skirting the line right now, so it might be.
I think it'll stay up there, but it'll be
for now. But if there are more movies that get more S tier votes, it might get bumped down into A. We'll kind of see how the show plays out. It could get bumped down into the A tier, but that's kind of how it's working right now.
But I will say with Full Metal Jacket also that when I first saw it, like I wasn't a huge fan. I thought it was kind of a little like too ultra realistic. So I would have given it a B, but after several rewatches, like it gets an S tier now. So maybe some of you guys might appreciate it if you give it another rewatch sometime. But yeah. But with that, we'll throw it over to Malcolm so you can have your first pick. And you can take a look here. What we have, I'll add you to the group chat here in a minute, Malcolm, because we have the full list of everything here. But if you see any movies or know any war movies off the top of your head that you want to shout out, just go for it.
I don't know if I can see it, but do you have Rogue One there?
We don't have Rogue One, which is technically a war movie, but. Yeah,
well,
you're right.
I mean, it's one of those ones. It's the only one in the Star Wars franchise that I would say is actually a war movie first and foremost.
Yeah, that is a good point you bring up. But
I think it's because we already had about 100 traditional war movies, so adding Star Wars movies at this point was kind of a moot point.
Look, as I said, like it's the only one I probably personally would have argued for anyway, because the other ones are not. I wouldn't say like full on war movies. I'm going to bring up the one that's filmed in New Zealand, The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. Look, it's beside Last of the Mohicans.
There he is, right next to the Lord. Yeah, there you go.
I'm not going to go I'm not going to try for straight for S, but I'm going to go for potentially an A. Because look, it's a good movie. Like I think Tom Cruise is great in this. It's been a while since I've seen it, to be honest, but this is just one of those ones that when I watched, like I just thought it was really good. It kept my attention the whole time, because quite often when I watch movies, I'm doing something else on the side. But this is one that I end up watching it more than doing the stuff that I was supposed to be doing. But it's really interesting movie. So yeah, A.
Yeah. Sounds good. Richie, what do you think for Last Samurai?
Yeah, I came around to this movie because I watched it when it first came in theaters, and I thought, yeah, it was good, but like it's I didn't really think much. I didn't really kind of think about it after that. It was just a movie. But I think in this community, Jay Burns always talks about this movie, so I'm like, oh, I'll give it another rewatch, and I definitely like it more. I think it is great. I probably put it in B personally, but it is a good movie.
Yeah. JC, what do you think?
I have not seen Last Samurai.
Okay.
Not offer an educated opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. Austin?
Yeah, I've seen Last Samurai. It's been a minute. I'm kind of due for a rewatch on Last Samurai. I haven't gone back to it in a while, but I do remember. I remember really liking it, but not totally like loving it. I think A tier is a solid place for it. I know it kind of gets a little heat nowadays for being, sort of like Dances with Wolves, of like the white savior type of thing. Where it's like the white guy that comes in to save the day. But yeah, Ken Watanabe's really good. There's a great blooper from the movie. You see the guy get kicked by a horse. If you go online and check that out. It's an interesting little sort of blooper they kept in the movie, much like the Star Wars dude, hitting his head on the door frame. But yeah, like there's really good stuff in there. It is shot extremely well. So yeah, I'm due for a rewatch on it, but from what I remember, it's like an A tier. I like Last Samurai. I don't really love it.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like I think the Last Samurai is great. Like I actually do really, really like it. Yeah, but I do agree that just having Tom Cruise in and kind of makes it a little whitewash. I don't really know the whole like story behind it and like how true it is. If it is based on a true story, I don't know, but but I know that if it was, then maybe that's the way it actually went down. But it feels a little whitewashed with having Tom Cruise right in front and center. But that's not a huge thing. That's more of like a little nitpicky thing. But I think that it's great too. It's one that my ex-wife showed me. We actually sat down and did a proper watch time. A lot like Malcolm, I got to watch these movies on the go or while I'm multitasking, that kind of thing. So I think that I would give Last Summer a solid A. I think that the A is the perfect spot, right where it is. So
all right. Well, it's
not,
3 A's and a B.
It's not as egregious with whitewashing as what was it? The Great Wall that came out with Matt Damon.
Oh yeah.
And Matt Damon. Yeah.
Yeah, we did not include that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It didn't make the cut, but
All right.
but yeah. So
well, I mean, that being said, I don't think there was much whitewashing here because of Tom Cruise in here. Like his character is American. Like he's not trying to be a different like Japanese.
True.
His character is actually American going into this.
Yeah. Very true. So, well,
Richie,
we'll throw it
you want to nominate something? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you have Paths of Glory on here?
Yes, we do. It's on here somewhere. I believe, yeah. It's on the left side. No, left side. I saw it. Go back up on the left side. Left column. Go back up. Right above Rescue Dawn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we actually have them in alphabetical order tonight.
Yeah, there you go. That's the Criterion Blu-ray cover that I have. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
All right, Richie. Paths of Glory.
Not a great comparison, but like Kirk Douglas totally looks like Donald Trump in that photo. But like Paths of Glory is my favorite Kubrick war movie. Well, Full Metal Jacket's great, but this one hits me more. I watched it recently. I was blown away. Just like the way he just shows the depravity of war is amazing. Just and people's different reactions like to war, and like the scene, one of the scenes at the end is one of the most powerful things I've seen in cinema. Where I won't give it away, but it's pretty hard to watch. Kirk Douglas has a masterful performance. Like even if you're a bit nostalgic towards like older movies and stuff, black and white, I would recommend watching this movie. It holds up, and I think it's amazing. So yeah, S tier.
Yeah, it sounds good. JC, what do you think for Paths of Glory?
I have also not seen Paths of Glory.
All right, well, that's fair enough. Yeah. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm similar to Richie. I actually bought this one blind on Criterion Blu-ray probably like 6 months ago, and watched it. And this movie knocked my freaking socks off. I thought it was absolutely incredible, especially for a movie from 1957. It's Kubrick's. It's a different type of movie where it's Kubrick's kind of anti-war movie. It takes place in World War One with like the trenches, and it follows these guys who are kind of being put on court-martial for cowardice in the face of the enemy, despite nobody, getting up out of the trenches and going to fight. They're kind of put on, sort of a kangaroo court, put to be made example of, and Kirk Douglas is kind of fighting for the lives of these guys who are being accused of that, and it's really, really good. Like it's kind of a half war movie, half sort of just follow-up commentary on troop morale and cowardice, or just facing our fears about death and things like that. And I think some of the actors in this movie who have to sort of face a penalty, so to speak. Again, I won't spoil much of the movie because I think it's very underseen of what they go through. Is really, really realistic. And this movie just absolutely kicked me. I watched it again like 3 days ago because, again, we're doing Kubrick tomorrow night. So I watched it again. It's very easy to watch. It's like 85 minutes. It's on Prime and Tubi and a bunch of things right now. It's very easy to find. I highly recommend Paths of Glory. Paths of Glory is absolutely freaking fantastic if you have not seen it. So, I'll definitely go easy S tier for Paths of Glory.
I will say too, there's like a song at the end who performed by who would be Kubrick's to-be wife, and like it's amazing. Just
the whole movie's great.
Yeah, listed in the credits here, I see Christine Kubrick, so it's a German singer. So it must be the song there. But yeah. So I watched this movie actually this morning for the first time
because Richie, I told him to. I said it's an easy watch. You need to watch this. It's gonna come up.
And it wasn't an easy watch. Like even the courtroom stuff. Like for me personally, I kind of feel like courtroom stuff can get a little boring, but the courtroom stuff kind of flew by. It wasn't a super long scene. It was like 10-15 minutes in the courtroom. So even the war stuff, like when they showed that, like it hits really, really hard. You see them all in the trenches with like explosions going off everywhere, and they're kind of sneaking up to this. I think they call it Ant Hill or something like that. Mm-hmm. They're trying to take over, the thing that like really hits for me is all the acting performances are like really, really strong. Like I mean, you have Kirk Douglas, but then you have also George McCready. He's in there. And then also, kind of like you mentioned, Austin, some of the guys that are facing being put to death and they're on trial there. There's some really great performance too. You have the guy with the big cut on his head, like he was
the one guy who's like clinging to the one guy who's like clinging to the priest the entire time, like up to the last minute, so he's tied to the post, and it was just like, I don't want to die. I don't want to, like he's really good. He's a Kubrick dude. He's in the Killing, the movie he did before this. He's a really unique looking dude. He kind of looks like Vincent Schiavelli, but he's like a really unique, like, kind of tall, lanky dude. I think he gives one of the best like one of the most realistic, like I don't want to die type performances. Like I think he's actually very, very good in that movie. He kind of steals the movie for me.
Yeah, and Kirk Douglas too. Like in the movie, I kept thinking that he looked like a young Martin Sheen, maybe, or something like that. But but he gives a great performance. But yeah, overall, I had a lot of fun with it. Like that's probably one that I'll go back to for sure. But I don't know if I would quite put it in the S tier. It just didn't grip me like as much, but I did really, really like it. So I'm still going to go A tier with probably a pretty high A, but I'm going to say A tier. Just as not quite on the level of like Apocalypse Now or Full Metal Jacket, but yeah, still really solid. But
Malcolm,
what do you think?
Haven't seen it.
Well, fair enough. So
still 2 S's and an A. So yeah, it's
it'll stay up there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I may even scoot up maybe above Full Metal Jacket as far as the votes go.
For right now, yeah.
I'll just do that. But yeah. So JC, you're up again. You can pick one you actually have seen this time.
I have a couple. I'm gonna go with Hacksaw Ridge though.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Um,
Find it on. Oh, I see.
you
it.
know,
There you go.
Mel Gibson has been in movie jail for a long time, and I'm also like was not a big Andrew Garfield fan. I'm actually not going to put it in S though. I'm going to put it in A.
Okay.
Because I think an S needs to be like an all-time great movie. An
Yeah.
A just needs to be really, really good. And will stand the test of time. But like, I don't think you need to watch it before you die. But
No.
Hacksaw Ridge really surprised me. It was so interesting and sympathetic, and just showed like a really solid, wonderful story, I thought. And I was really surprised. I watched it like on a whim because nothing else was on. I think it was like streaming on HBO, and I just had a couple hours to kill, and I was totally taken with the movie.
Yeah. Sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I like Hacksaw Ridge. I know some people think it's like one of the best war movies probably the last 20 years. I really like it. I don't know if I absolutely love it, mostly because I think while Andrew Garfield is good, I think it gets a little overly corny with all his like, oh, just let me get one more, and it is just like a little too much Bible thumping like in the movie. Like it's just kind of corny for me personally. I understand he's playing a real character, so like I get that he's doing more of a biopic thing. But I will say that the actual war stuff in the second half is really brutal. Like there's people just getting like cut in half, by machine gun fire and just getting their heads blown off. Like it's really like there's some really kind of sickening, gore, like blood stuff in the second half that I know put some people up. But I mean, I always appreciate a good realistic war movie as far as like a realistic violence and the things that can happen. So the second half of the movie kind of saves it for me. First half, just I will say the Vince Vaughn is better than you would think as like a drill sergeant in that movie. It was kind of surprising, and he's really good. So he kind of saves the first half for me. I'm also going to put it in A tier. I'm not as high on this movie as other people are, but I still really like it. I'll also go A.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually really high on it, so I'm gonna put it in the S tier because I freaking love this movie. Like I would highly recommend this as like one of the best war movies of the last 10 years or so, or even 20 years. But yeah, first time that I saw it though, remember that I watched it with my ex-wife really late and at night, and and I fell asleep before any of the like real action scenes. I'm a really heavy sleeper, so I ended up just sleeping through all of it while she watched it. And then the next day, she's like, man, I tried to wake you up, but you missed like all the best scenes in the movie, like all the kick-ass war scenes and everything. Like I didn't expect it to be that good. So she really insisted that I go back and watch it. She wanted to rewatch it the next day, so we I made sure to watch it at a decent time where I wasn't falling asleep in it. And yeah, like it just blew me away. Like it was just really, really solid. Just like everything that he went through and all the people that he was able to save, which is amazing to me that it's a true story that like he didn't even like fire a single shot that the whole entire time. He was able to save all these people. And also like Vince Vaughn's performance too. Like he was great as the drill instructor. Some of the beginning stuff, like I will admit that it might be a little cheesy, but that doesn't really take me out of it too much because I mean I don't know how true the like love story and all that stuff is, because I know that when it's based on it, sometimes they embellish a little bit, but like it still worked for me from beginning to end. So I would give Hacksaw Ridge an S tier for sure. And spoiler alert, it might show up on my top 64 or when I do my 128. So yeah, but Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, I've seen this once when it first came out. I'm not a big fan of this movie. I probably got about halfway and it's like, turn it off. I'll probably give it another shot. But for now, I'm going to go D.
Ooh, D. Wow. All right. Well, Richie, what do you think?
Man, don't rely on me because I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, do yourself a favor and watch it when you have some time. It's great. All right. So we have
With
two
an
A's, an
S,
S, and a
two
D.
A's, and a D. Yeah. Oh, the D
The D
hurts it.
might
Pull it down to B.
try to
Yeah.
go B. Yeah.
Malcolm,
Yeah.
you heel.
Malcolm.
Yeah. How dare you? No.
Heard our special
Oh,
guest.
I'm a
You're hurting our
heel.
special guest like that. Come on. The man owns a
Yeah,
scum
yeah.
and villainy place. Give him a little.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Come on.
But you
All
should have
right.
put a Star Wars movie in here for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Well, we'll throw it over to Austin. You get another pick. So
Yeah, I'm gonna pick one that really came out of nowhere and I thought really floored me as far as just how well made it was and how much it surprised me. I'm gonna go with Fury with Brad
Okay.
Pitt. So it's on the left side above Green Berets, below Dunkirk. Yeah, right there. You had your
right there.
arrow on it right there. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Fury freaking
Oh crap!
rules.
Okay.
This movie's great. This movie just came out of nowhere and really killed it for me. I think it was a unique take where we're following like this tank regimen, and Brad Pitt was kind of coming off of Inglourious Basterds, but he's not playing the same character. He's still playing kind of a more of a hard-nosed commander. But I think what really sells this for me is the supporting cast. John Bernthal is great. Shia LaBeouf is actually really amazing in this movie as kind of the kind of religious dude of the group. Unlike Hacksaw Ridge, I don't think he's annoying. It's just kind of part of his thing, always wanting to pray with with people. Michael Pena is great, and then I forget the kid who kind of plays the newbie of the group, but he's really good too. But just really following this regimen behind enemy lines, and their strategy of trying to take on these German tanks, which are obviously superior, and having to kind of skirt around them and really do what they need to do. But I think the action scenes of this movie are absolutely spectacular, and the camaraderie these guys have and kind of fighting to the last bullet is pretty great. So it's a movie I've championed a long time. I think this movie rocks, and it's one of the best war movies to come out probably in the last 10 or 20 years for me. So I'm gonna go Fury for S tier.
Yeah, and I'll probably second that. I think because I know, I will second it, but yeah, Fury's great. Like, it's a lot of fun from beginning to end, and I actually got to meet John Bernthal at a Comic-Con. I mentioned this before, but on the show, I asked him what his next project is, and he's like, "I'm doing this really cool tank movie with Shia LaBeouf and Brad Pitt called Fury. You got to check it out." So I'm like, "All right, cool." And actually, so John Bernthal and Shia LaBeouf came. So I live in Idaho, so in Boise, Idaho, our military base there, they have a big tank division. So they actually came out there to do some training. They stayed out there for a couple of weeks to actually get some hands-on training with all these tanks and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool. I've actually been able to go out there with my church group and actually like see some of the tanks go inside of them even. So that was a fun time. But yeah, the movie's great. Just the depiction of a war and just like some of the things that they go through, like they roll through these little towns. They interact with some of the people in the town, and then there's a lot of gripping things where they can't get the tank up and moving and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a fun time. So I'll say S tier. I'll probably would more put it at the lower end of the S tier compared to what we have up there, but I'll say S. So yeah. Mm-hmm. But Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen this, so I'm just going to say haven't seen this and save time.
Sure, yeah. Sounds good. Richie, and what do you think?
Austin stole my next pick. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Richie. I love this movie though. That's why.
It's so good. Well, I like it too. I think it's fantastic. I think I echo everything Austin said. I think Shia LaBeouf, even though he's like, maybe not everyone's favorite person, certainly not mine. But yeah, you can't deny he's a fantastic actor, and wherever his, maybe that's where the good performances come from. Because he's crazy. I don't know, but he's amazing in this movie. He steals it. Like if you steal a movie from a person like Brad Pitt, then that's something to hang up. But Brad Pitt's still really good in this movie. yeah, this belongs in the S tier, definitely.
Yeah. That sounds good. JC, what do you think?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough again. So, what are the votes then, Austin?
we have 3 votes, but they're all S tier. So yeah,
Sure.
I mean,
All right.
there you go.
Well, stays in the S tier. Yeah. Yeah, I'll
All
even
right.
slide it up here maybe by Gone with the Wind. So,
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah. So for my pick, I'm gonna go with another pretty recent one that came out recently. I want to talk about 1917. So this is another movie that just really blew me away when I saw it, and I will say this is a movie that is meant to be seen on the big screen. I don't know if you ever get another chance, but if you ever do, if they're just showing it somewhere, definitely go check it out because it is like a sight to behold. And I love the whole thing with that's filmed it like basically in one take. I know the rumors maybe there might be like one or two spots where it's not, but they make it look like the whole thing's done in one take. Like I love the journey that the two soldiers that they go on. We get to kind of follow them trying to find this other soldier to relay this message to him, and yeah, it's just really powerful. I love all the trench warfare things that they show, and yeah, like I just feel like even more than a war movie, like you're on this journey with them. Like they really go on a pretty cool kind of harrowing journey, and yeah, a lot of crazy things happen on the way. So, and also too, from my favorite, well, my the director of my favorite James Bond movie, Skyfall, you got Sam Mendes in there directing it, so that's cool. So, yeah, I'll say S tier, 1917. See what you guys think. Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, one of the classic trivia questions I've heard asked about this movie is what world did 1917 take place in?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that being said, this is one I didn't expect to like. Like I heard a lot about it. So when I checked it out, I mean, I came to this late. I really wish I did get to see it on the big screen. Because it's so great. And I mean, I am in the camp where I don't think it actually is one take, but I think they edited it enough to look
Yeah.
like it was one take. Because I think it's one of those ones with movies like this, I think it's impossible to get something correct. Like, if you're doing something in one take to get it exactly right all the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you've got some great actors, and you've got Kenneth Branagh, which is good. Like George McKay, who's one of the soldiers. I can't remember who the other one is, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I would easily see S tier for this.
Yeah. There's even some like fun people that pop up, like a Benedict Cumberbatch and some of those guys. Yeah. So, but Richie, what do you think for 1917?
It's a great movie. I think it looks like phenomenal. It looks gorgeous. And then performances are great. Yeah, and I definitely think it will probably, years from now, it'll stand up as a really, really, really great war movie. I just think it's just because, I mean, it came out in like 2019. It's just, I think it's just still, I don't know, it's weird. I think it's still a bit new in my mind to be an S tier. I just haven't really, I need to go back to it, I think. So I'd go A.
Yeah, and welcome to our final guest, Papa West. How's it going?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, we'll get back around to you. We're just talking about 1917, but we'll get your thoughts at the end here. But JC, what do you think for 1917?
I wanted to see it, and I never got around to seeing it. I saw all the hype, and I heard all the wonderful things, and then it passed me by.
Yeah, well, definitely, if you see it, try to watch on the biggest TV with the best sound you can, because it's definitely like one of those movies. So, but Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of similar in that I really like this movie when I did see it on the big screen. I'm glad I did because yeah, like you said, it's definitely a big screen experience that should be done on there. I have not gone back to it since I saw it, and maybe it's because like it just didn't stick with me just emotionally as it does some of these other movies, like a Past Glory that just really like knocked my socks off and hit me. And I don't know if it would hold up as well on home media. I need to go back and watch it, but I still really did like it. So for me, it's more like a strong A tier. I'm kind of similar to what Richie said. I think time will tell whether it's going to be one of the all-time greats. For me, it just doesn't stand up to a Full Metal Jacket or Apocalypse Now as of right now. But I do agree that it's very good. So I would still put it in a strong A tier. I do like 1917.
Yeah. So Papa West, what do you think of
Yeah, what do you think?
1917?
So fun fact, I actually have not watched it yet.
Okay.
Just like JC, I was very hyped about this movie, but it was showing at my local theater at the same time as Rise of Skywalker. So of course, Star Wars fan here, went to watch Rise of Skywalker, immediately regretted my life decisions, have not alleviated them yet.
Oops.
Yeah, who would have thought it'd be better than Rise of Skywalker? Yeah, but
I mean, if you saw, never mind. I might get myself in trouble.
If you saw Rise of Skywalker, you would agree.
Right.
I'll say it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but what are the votes at, Austin?
It's 2 and 2. It's right on the border. So 2 S's, 2 A's. It's kind of right there on the border. So I mean, again, it could probably hang out there for now, but if anything gets more, it'll probably get the bump down. So I'll let you know. But for now, it can skirt there for now, and we'll see if it gets bumped down.
Yeah. Well, sounds good. Well, Papa West, you came at the perfect time because I just finished my picks, so you'd be up next, and I put the full list of movies in the group chat on Facebook Messenger. So if you need a reference, it's over there. But if you got one you want to pick, you can go for it.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to group chats.
It's all good.
Go ahead and scroll up just a little bit. A little bit more.
Yeah.
And stop right there. So kind of like right in the top row, kind of in the middle, a little bit closer to that side, you'll find the Alamo. And that looks like Billy Bob Thornton. So that is the newer of the Alamo movies.
Yeah, that is the newer.
With Billy Bob Thornton. I believe Randy Quaid plays William Travis. For those who do not know, I was born and raised in Texas. Every kid is indoctrinated with the movies, with the story of the Texas American Revolutionary War. And so for that, I would lose my Texas card if I did not nominate the Alamo. At least for A tier. I will be brutally honest, it's not a great movie, so I cannot put it at S tier, but it is a really good movie. So I will go with A. Star-studded cast, kind of like what I was saying. They also kind of delve into the other side of the Texas American Revolution with Dennis Quaid doesn't play Travis, he plays Houston, that's right. Travis is Patrick Wilson, I believe. It doesn't matter. But they delve into the Sam Houston role during the Alamo and then his attack on Santa Ana afterwards, which is amazing. I wish they did that with the original Alamo, but they did not. And another really good part that is one that's not talked about a lot. For those who don't know, almost everyone who fought on the Texas side of the Alamo did die during that battle. But there were some who were captured at the end. And one was David Crockett. And Santa Ana was about to execute him, or was thinking about setting him free. But David Crockett kind of stood up and puffed himself up and made himself look big, and that kind of scared Santa Ana because he was a small man. They don't really do that in this movie. Instead, he has this great speech, and he's like, "If you kill me, I will scream so loud that they'll hear me all across America." And he just starts yelling as they kill him. It's a great scene. So I have to go with the Alamo for at least an A tier.
A for Alamo?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah, right. Yep, sounds good.
All right,
Malcolm.
Yeah, I don't want to correct you, but it's Dennis Quaid that was Sam Houston, not Randy Quaid.
Kick him out. We're not doing this again.
That'd be a whole different movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a much different movie.
I just haven't seen this movie, so.
Yeah. Sounds good. Richie, what do you think?
Yeah, man. Look, it sounds great. Haven't seen it.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Might be in some haven't seen it territory, maybe. But JC, have you seen it?
I have not. I have not seen it.
Okay. All right. Austin?
I remember when this movie came out, and I remember it getting savaged in reviews, so I skipped it, and I have not seen it. So but I will say that I swear Patrick Wilson is in every movie, and like every time we see these movies where it's like, oh, Patrick Wilson, he's in every goddamn movie. I don't know how he's made 900 movies, but he's in every movie.
Yeah.
He's a big part of this one too. So
yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I guess I have not seen it either, so I can't comment either. So we got to throw it down in the haven't seen it. Sorry,
And I haven't seen. Yeah.
But
when that happens, we'll say Papa West, you can have another pick if you like, because when that happens, we do like to give a little leeway and give you another pick. So if something ends up, but hey, it's worth it if you want to recommend it. That's cool. You know, it happens. But at least you can get it out there.
Okay. At least Austin remembered the Alamo.
Yeah, I did. I remembered when it came out. I remembered not paying a ticket for it. So yeah.
I would say Richie and Malcolm get a pass for not being American.
Everyone a solid recommendation though. That makes me want to see it though. So,
no, and you know, I'm ashamed, Papa West, because I was born in San Antonio, Texas. My name is Austin. I have a lot of Texas blood in me, and I'm ashamed I have not watched the Alamo. So, but I do know that it doesn't have a basement. I'm aware of that. So
yeah.
So Jordan, go ahead and stop where you're at too, because I'm going to go with that same row. So all the way up at the top.
There you go.
This one, I hope all of you have seen. I can guarantee at least one person on here has seen it. And I'll go ahead and rank this one S tier because it's amazing. That's going to be 300.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Not with Russell Crowe, with Gerard Butler. So nobody can me on that one. No, this is such an epic. There's a movie that I imagine we'll talk about here very soon that has like one of the best opening scenes. You can take that opening scene and this is the entire movie. It is immensely quotable. It is savage, but it's 300 Spartans going up against like 2 million Persians. The odds are against them, but they give them the fight of their life. I'm going to nominate 300 S tier.
Yeah. Sounds good. Malcolm, what do you think for 300?
So 300 was an emperor, right?
No, not quite. You did not include that one.
But yeah, I do really. I think 300 is a good movie. But this is just one that, like, on a recent rewatch, it's kind of gone down for me. Like, I still enjoy watching it. But for me, I'm going to have to say C tier on this. It's just one of those ones that I think is good. I just don't think it's S tier.
Yeah. That's fair. Richie, what do you think?
Yeah, 300 is a good movie. I enjoy it. It's probably Gerard Butler's one of his better movies. But that again, that I feel like that unfortunately doesn't say much because he makes some choices in his career, and yeah, like I think it's great. I think like visually it's fantastic. But yeah, I like Mac. I don't think it's S tier, but I'm going to be a bit more kind. I don't think it's C. I'll give it a B.
Yeah, that's fair. JC, what do you think for 300?
So this is going to be my next movie to talk about, but in the exact opposite way. My backstory is I had moved to Los Angeles, and the Chinese theater, the world famous Grauman's Chinese Theater, had just been remodeled into the largest IMAX screen in the country at the time. And the movie that they were playing was 300. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. And I went and I sat in the Chinese theater and was so unimpressed by 300 and so bored that I have never rewatched it. And if I didn't love it in the best movie theater in the country, I am sure I'm not going to love it at home. I felt like it looked almost like it had been like rotoscoped, like Scanner Darkly. Like the colors were so weird and it felt so flat and so very Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like watched the whole thing. I'm like, I still don't understand why I care about this. So I'm gonna actually rank it as an F. Because
Oh, all right.
hated that movie.
Sure, yeah.
I apologies on sinking that ship. But oof.
Yeah. Well, Austin, what do you think about 300?
This is where they fight. This is where they die. I'm sorry. I thought this movie was based on a graphic novel, so it looks like a comic book come to life. I apologize for how this movie looks like the comic book. My apologies. No, look.
The movie
I
Spirit looks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Sure.
Spirit sucks and 300 rules. I'm going S tier for 300. 300 fucking rules. 300 is great.
Wow.
I'm a Snyder guy. I love Zack Snyder and I love his visual style. And I think this movie is entertaining as all hell from start to finish. Yes, I understand it's more of an exaggeration of a fight that may not have even occurred. We're not even sure if the Thermopylae battle even actually happened. We don't know. But I don't care if it did or not. It makes for a damn entertaining movie. I think the visual style of this movie is incredible. I picked this up on 4K recently. I think it looks great. It looks like a comic book because that's the way it was intended, and that's how he got the job. Is he did a short film for the way it looked. I'm in the camp. I think this movie's entertaining as shit. It's super macho, but like if you can take it for what he's presenting, I think it's a hell of a lot of fun. I'm gonna go S tier. I'm with Papa West on 300. I like this movie. Yeah.
Well, Austin, you and Papa West can go do a podcast maybe somewhere because I don't know if I can support that, but I'm not going to be as harsh as JC. I think that the movie is fun, like it is, but for me, like for as cool and like brutal as it is, like for me when I watched it, it just kind of devolved more into like people chopping off heads and arms and limbs and they're flying through the air and in slow motion and all of that. So it might be a cool movie to see on the big screen, maybe even in 3D. But beyond that, though, it just didn't really do a lot. Like it kind of like almost feels like it could be like a heavy metal music video if you put some like some death metal to it or something like that. But I am probably gonna say, I'll probably say C. Sorry.
And the voting's all over the place this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I've got two S's, a B, two C's, and an F. So probably C in the middle is probably fine for it, like because it's all over the place.
You would divide everybody up. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you got a C for it, but I'm just gonna shout out. We got Peggy in the chat. She's a friend of the show. Been on a couple times. What's up, Peggy? So you don't have Memphis Belle on there. Sorry, that one didn't quite make the cut.
We have like 100 movies on here, Peggy. I'm sorry we couldn't include like everything. My apologies.
Yeah.
I unfortunately I think Memphis Belle would be in the haven't seen category most likely.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those ones that's underseen. So yeah, but we'll shout it out. Memphis Belle. All right, Peggy loves it, so go watch it.
Yeah. But we'll throw it over to Malcolm. I don't know where Papa went.
Where'd Papa go? Is he having trouble?
Yeah. He was so upset he just left.
Yeah, he just left.
All right. Yeah.
When he comes back, I'll let him.
I supported you, Papa. I know we don't always agree, but I'm with you on 300. 300 rocks.
Yeah. Well, Malcolm, you got one you want to talk about?
Yeah, do you have G.I. Jane 2 here?
No.
No. No.
Can't wait to see it.
So you don't have Avengers Infinity War here. So I'm going to go with the next best thing. I'm going to go.
Dude, we can't load this damn movie with comic book movies. Like, come on, let's. This is a war movie thing. We do enough comic book movies on this damn show, Malcolm.
I mean, that joke was going somewhere. You just cut me off.
Two.
So I'm going to go for Doctor Strange Love.
No. Strange Love. Okay, I was going to say. I'm like, sure. Let me find it.
I knew there was one there, but I wasn't going to go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I came to Doctor Strange, Strange Love late. But this is just one I'll definitely put an S tier. I think it's good. Like Peter Sellers is the master at kind of playing multiple different roles. I think he was the inspiration for what I think Mike Myers or Eddie Murphy, those kind of people that decide to do multiple roles in movies. And this is just one of those movies that I really loved. So, and it's just one that I didn't expect to love as much as I did. Um, so I think this belongs in S tier of the other Stanley Kubricks.
Yeah. Sounds good. Richie,
Yeah,
what
I
do you
think
think?
I like Stanley Kubrick. I think I might have to give this a rewatch though, because when I watched it the first time, I did not get it. I don't get the appeal to the movie. I don't get especially like a sort of a comedy as well that I don't get. I don't. Maybe. I mean, I'm a comedian, so I understand humor, but I felt like I was going crazy. I'm like, why am I not finding it funny? But yeah, and I don't know. I found it weird. Like maybe I just need to watch it again because people keep praising this movie and I don't get it. But I don't know. I didn't hate it. So I'd probably go like C.
Yeah. That's fair. JC, what do you think?
I'm more on par with Rich. I just don't love this movie the way that everybody does. I don't think it's as hilarious. Like the satire is so in your face. But I also do appreciate it, for what it is when it came out, what it's trying to say. I'd probably give it a B. Solid B.
Yeah, sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
Well, I'm in luck because because me and Henry are doing Kubrick last night. I rewatched Doctor Strangelove 2 days ago, so and I have an interesting relationship with this movie. Where I've had a contentious relationship with this movie too. There was the longest time where I didn't get it either. I've actually even seen it in a theater, and I was just like I was just sitting there stone faced the whole time. I didn't know what I was supposed to be laughing at. I mean, there are good stuff in it. I will say that this most recent rewatch that I did 2 days ago, it played better for me than it's ever had before. Having said that, it used to be in like D territory and it bumped up in like C territory for me personally. So it didn't increase that much. But I will say there were some select scenes in the movie that did actually make me laugh for the first time in a long time. Most of the stuff involving, I know Peter Sellers plays like 3 roles in this movie. It was the stuff where he's the president on the phone with Dmitry, the Russian president, giving him a whole like, you see now what had happened was kind of thing on the phone, which is actually really funny after they've already launched the nukes. So I will say there's some funny stuff in this movie. Once you get past like the 30-minute mark, I will say the first 30 minutes of this movie is incredibly boring until it really gets to the sillier stuff. I will say that, which is why I've had a rough time with this movie until it actually gets to the comedy. But it played better this past time than it has for me ever. But I'll still stick it in C because it used to be in like DF territory for me, but it's still in C territory. I don't love Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on it.
You would hate this movie, Jordan. You would hate this movie.
Yeah.
You would absolutely
really
hate everything about this movie.
You know me.
You would hate this movie.
Old slow moving movies, but I do. Enjoy Peter Sellers. I like all the old Pink Panther movies and that, but yeah.
I could send you some scenes from like YouTube, like select scenes from this movie, and they would be funny just on their own. I think as a movie, it just doesn't work as a whole. Like totally.
That's a way for me to watch it. I'll just watch some clips and call it good. But Papa West, what do you think?
So I watched this movie like when I was young. I don't know why. 12-year-old Papa was like, I want to watch Doctor Strangelove. It might have just been on TV or something, but I was very young, so a lot of the stuff just went over my head and I didn't understand it. And I've wanted to revisit it since because I'm a lot more mature now and understand stuff. And also being in this community, people love this movie. And I haven't gotten to it yet. So I would go kind of middle of the road and give it a C.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like maybe C.
Well, no, not technically, because Malcolm gave it an S. There was a B vote and 3 C's. I think the S and the B pull it up out of C into B territory. I think, to be fair.
All right.
So yeah, just slightly, but yeah, it's not going to be an S tier. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right.
All
right, Richie.
All right, I'm debate about this, but like, because usually I don't want to waste my vote and like have like a and I want to champion movies, but I'm what, I'm gonna use this time to shit on the movie.
Go ahead.
Why not? Pearl Harbor is a bunch of shit. I hate Pearl Harbor. You've got like the one of the most sort of harrowing moments in like human history with the Pearl Harbor. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, right? In Pearl Harbor, it's background noise to a fucking love triangle. It's like this movie doesn't know what it wants to be at the time. Michael Bay doesn't know how to do these movies. It should have, in another director's hands, it might have been better. But this movie just sucks. Like this is also like, and I know it's like kind of kind of hack to like rag on Ben Affleck now, but because he is good, but he sucks in this movie. Liv Tyler's not good in this movie.
Yeah.
I did not. This movie sucks. So yeah, F.
Yeah. JC, what do you think?
Can I give it an F even if I haven't seen it?
Just on reputation.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Yeah. Austin, what do you think?
I will give it a D only because, like, I will say that at least, at bare minimum, I think some of the stuff during the actual attack of Pearl Harbor is well staged. Michael Bay does know how to stage a big action scene and blow shit up. That's one thing he does do. I will say, so some of the actual staging of that stuff is fairly well done, obviously, because he knows how to do, a raid, an attack, et cetera, et cetera. Having said that, this movie is 3 hours of bullshit. Like, I will say that. And the fact that, it spends the first hour and a half of this movie doing this god-awful love triangle before we even get to, just intermittently every 15 minutes cutting to Japanese guys getting into a plane just to remind ourselves, oh yeah, hey, this is a Pearl Harbor movie, isn't it? Or a movie about that. And then it goes into this really ridiculous nonsense with like Alec Baldwin after the thing of like this retaliation raid or whatever. At that point, you just don't care because you're just exhausted and you just want to get out of the theater. So I'll give it a D just because I think the actual Pearl Harbor raid is done fairly well. But that's like the one bright spot in the movie. So I'll go D, but I still do. Yeah, I think it's bad.
Yeah, this movie's terrible. Yeah, I'm gonna be right there with you guys. Yeah, I don't know if I will go quite as far to give it an F. I'd probably say D, but it's still pretty bad. I mean, the only thing that I really cared about is just maybe Cuba Gooding Jr. Like just his character, like you see him kind of just cooking in the kitchen when they get attacked, and then it's like all out war. Because surprise, it's Pearl Harbor, but you almost kind of forget about that because of the stupid love triangle and everything else going on. So yeah, I'll say D. But Papa West, what do you think?
Yeah, no, this movie sucks. It has moments, and it's exactly what Austin said. It's the actual bombing of Pearl Harbor. But that cannot save it. From the wrath that is Papa, F. I'd go low. No, it's not a war movie. Get it in that tier.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost not a war movie. Yeah, true. But
it's a war movie. I will absolutely say it's a war movie. It's about the thing that kicked us off into World War II, and the war is already happening. Like, it's a war movie. So I won't disagree with that.
Sure.
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
But yeah,
you're gonna like it, aren't you?
Yeah, he loves this movie.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
It's been
You'd probably love it. Malcolm, you should watch it. You'd probably love it. You'd probably think it was great.
I plan on watching it eventually. I just haven't got around to it.
You hear him say,
just for context, JC, Malcolm has a lot of hot takes sometimes
yeah,
and so it's like a running gag around here. So just for a little context. All right, well we had two D's and kind of an F or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
well, JC gave it an F, but he hadn't seen it. He just gave it a
Papa West gave it an F.
Oh, did you? Okay,
Yeah,
so it's right.
It's
right in the line. I mean, whatever. You're not gonna hurt my feelings if you leave it down there. That's fine.
No, that's fine.
All right, JC, we're back to you, sir. You want to nominate another movie?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what people say about this. I'm gonna pick Starship Troopers.
Ooh, okay.
Yay.
Yeah. Where's it at? I know it's down in here somewhere.
I saw this in the movie theater when I was in high school. I'll put this at an A. It's definitely not an S. The reason I really like this movie is I love the satire of it. I love how purposefully over the top it is. I love it's not bashful about any of it. And I feel like it's endlessly rewatchable. Meaning, if you look at every other movie on our list right now, except for maybe the people who like 300, like you don't want to go like Apocalypse Now. Watching that movie is like it takes something out of you. It asks a lot of you. Gone with the Wind asks a lot of you. Full Metal Jacket asks a lot of you as a viewer. Starship Troopers is pure popcorn. And it doesn't ask anything of you. You can just sit back and enjoy it. All of the characters are strong. All of the, allegory is really strong. The Paul Verhoeven ultra violence is super strong. It's just silly fun, but also kind of has a very, very thinly veiled bigger message behind it. And it's one of my faves.
Yeah, sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
JC, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to put this in A tier for the simple fact that it's a much smarter movie than people realize, and that has to do with Paul Verhoeven and his sort of social commentary that he slides into movies like he did with RoboCop. What he does in this movie, it's actually it's a satire about war propaganda, about war culture, about how easily we can get kind of sucked into hating especially this other species just because they're, not human and we just think of them as nothing, and watching this all out war. All the stuff that I really love about the movie is all the propaganda pieces of just the only good bug is a dead bug. And it shows that all the kids are doing their part and they're stomping cockroaches on the ground, just doing silly things, killing bugs. But yeah, I mean, other than that, the actual action sequences I think are actually very well staged, especially for a sci-fi action movie. The one where they're stuck in the kind of fort and they're being raided from all sides by all the bugs is actually really well done. Michael Ironside's great in this movie. I mean, I will say it's much smarter than people think. It's a really nice satire. I'll go A tier for Starship Troopers. That sounds about right.
Yeah. I've not seen Starship Troopers, so I can't really comment. But I'm looking up the cast. It has a real kind of eclectic cast that's kind of interesting. But I just I haven't seen it. But I kind of like just the weird pairing. You got Clancy Brown in there with Neil Patrick Harris, and then Casper Van Dien. It's kind of interesting. Jake Busey.
Jake Busey's in there. There's a bunch of people you recognize in there.
Yeah. Jake Busey plays a futuristic violin. It's amazing.
Oh, it's neon green. Yeah. He pulls it out of a box, a neon green little fiddle violin thing. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So, but if one of these days, I'll check it out when I'm in the mood for just shut my brain off, just shove popcorn in my mouth type of movie. So one of these days. But Papa West.
So this movie does hold a little special place in my heart. Because most of this movie is filmed in the great state of Wyoming, where I currently live. It's an area called Hell's Half Acre. So it's a really cool canyon area that now all you can do is go to this little parking area where you can fit 5 cars. It's super small, and look through a fence at this beautiful canyon. Can't do anything anymore. It's really sad. But that's where this movie was filmed during most of the battles. So it's really cool little tidbit that I had. So I'm like, I have to watch this. And kind of like how Doctor Strangelove just has that satire comedy. I felt like this was the exact same thing, but it worked for me because I was a lot older when I watched this one. So I will third the vote for A tier.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Malcolm,
what do you think?
Yeah, I actually had to look this up because I could have sworn I've seen it. And I could have sworn it was about police officers, but it's actually Super Troopers is what I've seen. Not
Yeah.
It's a much different movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richie?
Yeah, I've seen this movie a lot. Like we had when I was growing up, I had it on VHS because one of my dad's favorite movies. And yeah, it's I love it. It's just a lot of fun. And then yeah, when you watch it later on, you realize the commentary that Paul Verhoeven has slid in there. I love Paul Verhoeven movies, and yeah, this is. Honestly, I forgot this was on the list, man. I would have probably brought it up instead of Paul Harbour, to be honest. But I would have. I look like to champion things. But yeah, Star Trek. Yeah, I would say A. It's a good. It's a good spot for it.
It's unanimous.
Yeah, it's unanimous for
unanimous
A.
for A. There you go. All right, so it'll say
there you go. Yeah.
All right. There. And actually, it's above Last Samurai because Last Samurai had 1B, and all. So it's leading the A tier right now. There you go.
Yeah, because for anyone who's not aware, by the end of the show, we try and come up with the top 10 and 3 honorable mentions. So those ones are leading the charge for honorable mentions in the A there. But yeah, but Austin.
I'm going to go with the movie that my dad actually introduced me to, and is a big fan. And I think still holds up today, and it's a prototype of a lot of other movies. So the one I'm going to talk about is The Dirty Dozen with Lee Marvin.
Ooh, okay.
I'm not sure where it is on there.
Probably somewhere around here, or it might be under T for The Dirty Dozen.
The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah. Is it this one? Did I have my thing?
No, on the left side, next to The Great Escape.
Oh,
left side.
That one?
See it?
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Dirty Dozen. Yep, that's it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so The Dirty Dozen is actually, for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's a total prototype of movies like Suicide Squad or concepts like the Suicide Squad, where essentially Lee Marvin is this army major who has this regiment, and he's assigned all these convicted murderers, like basically all these felons and murderers. He's given a squad of kind of misfits and guys. So it's composed of guys like Charles Bronson and Jim Brown, John Cassavetes, George Kennedy, Telly Savalas, Donald Sutherland, a lot of people you would actually recognize in the movie. The cast is actually stacked for especially a late 60s movie. But he's given the assignment where they're basically expendable, much like the Suicide Squad type of concept, where they're sent on they're given some assassination missions and sort of black ops type missions where if they get killed, they just deny everything that happened, because they're just a bunch of rogue guys. But he has to kind of whip them into shape. So the first half of the movie is kind of like a boot camp type thing where he's kind of given a military training and trying to deal with all their egos and their rebelliousness. And then, the second half of the movie is them going on these assassination missions. But it's actually really, really fun. It flies by. It's a longer movie, but it has a great pace. And again, a unique concept that inspired so many other things and kind of was the basis for a lot of things that are kind of similar to a sort of Expendables, Suicide Squad type thing. So I just want to give some love to The Dirty Dozen. I realize probably a lot of people haven't seen it, but I just wanted to bring it up and talk about it. I would absolutely nominate for S tier. I think it's one of the most unique war movies out there, and it's really great.
Yeah. Well, I actually have seen The Dirty Dozen because my ex-wife likes to show me all these classic movies. So we're still good friends, by the way. So she's still a little influence that way on me, and this movie was a lot of fun. Like, actually kind of how you compare it to the Suicide Squad. She actually made a comment after we watched the Suicide Squad. She's like, "Let me show you a movie that in a weird way is kind of like similar to the Suicide Squad." She actually said that, so I'm like, "All right, sure." And just seeing like Lee Marvin gets stuck with all these guys for this rescue mission, and just like a kind of a ragtag group of all these soldiers, and yeah. You have like a young Donald Sutherland in there. You have Telly Savalas. You have Charles Bronson. A lot of classic actors from that era. So that's fun to see. Yeah, like this one's kind of interesting. Like it's not really one that I go back to a lot, but I do think that it's really good though. So I'll probably say A for. So yeah, I'll go A. But Papa West, what do you think? Have you seen it?
I have not watched it yet, but I just looked it up, and it is on HBO Max. So
Yes, it is.
I will watch it very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, yeah, sounds good. Malcolm, what do you think?
Haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Richie,
have you seen it?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Well, JC, you're our last hope. Have you seen it?
I remember my parents watching it when I was a little kid, and them telling me I was not allowed to watch it. But that's
okay. Okay. Well, there's only 2 of us that have seen it, so it probably goes down.
Damn.
I haven't seen it, so sorry.
It's really good. Y'all should watch it.
I tried to help you out, Austin. Like the one person who doesn't watch a lot of classic movies.
It's a total. I will say it's a total like dad movie. Again, my dad introduced me to this movie. It's like one of those classic. Like he loves this and like Kelly's Heroes. Like those are classic kind of dad horror movies because it's got all those actors he grew up with. All right, but I'll go with another one. Hopefully, it's another classic movie. Hopefully, more people have seen it. I know at least Jordan watched it recently. Let's talk about The Bridge on the River Kwai.
Yeah. Let's see if anyone sees the poster. I don't remember what it looked.
I don't know if it'd be with B or with something else. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so Bridge on the River Kwai. I'm nominated for another S tier. I think it's still kind of the quintessential POW sort of a war film. You got Alec Guinness in an absolutely amazing role. If you haven't seen him in something outside of Star Wars, this is one of the roles that really made him famous. His platoon kind of gets captured by the Japanese, and they're putting this sort of classic POW camp and bringing them out for information. It's got all the stuff you would expect. They're putting them in hot boxes, and all these sort of bamboo cells, and all the rigors of the manual labor, building railroads and things like that. And then they eventually sort of do this sort of sabotage mission to sabotage this bridge. Obviously this bridge over the River Kwai, and one of the more famous kind of final climax explosions. It's a longer movie. I will say it's definitely a slow burn. But I think the classic nature of seeing the guys and what they're going through in this different side of not the actual fighting, but seeing the POW side of things is really great. And of course the whistling that they do throughout the whistling march is one of the more classic kind of recognizable things. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you watch it and you recognize the sort of whistling that they're doing throughout the whole thing. So I think Bridge on the River Kwai deserves to be in the S tier. So I'll see what you guys think.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
All the
whistling, yeah. So it's a classic thing.
Richie's dog started. Richie's dogs go crazy. The whistling. It was the dog whistling. Jordan, don't whistle around dogs.
Yeah, that actually probably was it. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah. So this movie was really, really good. I was able to watch it while I was prepping for the show today, and I was able to watch it. My dad's big 4K TV, so I was able to find it in 4K. It actually looks really good in 4K. Like it's really solid. But it's kind of a movie with like less of the actual war battle scenes, but like everything that you see though is really good stuff. You get to see them kind of more like just kind of prepping for war and they're building this bridge, but they're kind of dragging it out so that it never gets finished. And I was also surprised that was a young Alec Guinness, because he gave a really great performance, and you almost kind of we don't really recognize him because he's so young in it. But this is a really solid movie, and I'd say as far as a lot of war movies go, I think it's pretty influential too. It's one that a lot of people bring up in conversation. So I think, just because of how influential it is, I probably need some more time to really kind of sit on it for me, because I just watched it today. But for right now, I'll give it an S tier. Sure, yeah, I'll say S. So, Papa West,
Papa
what
West.
do you think?
I have not watched it yet. It's been on my list for a while, but I just checked. I have to pay for it to watch it, so it's going to stay on my list for a little bit longer.
Yeah, also as a Ron Swanson fan, because he's one of my favorite TV characters. That's his favorite movie, so I had to do it for that. So, but Malcolm, what do you think?
Yeah, it's just been added to Netflix for me. So I haven't had a chance to watch it. But that being said, I haven't watched it before that. Because for the longest time, I keep on looking for the bridge over the River Kwai, one of the famous title mixes up. It's like, and I recognise the rhythm from Spaceballs. So
yeah, yeah. Well, Richie, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll do you a solid. I've seen it, so we can burn.
Nice.
But it's probably. It's weird if I say I came to it late because it's an old movie. I would have come to it late anyway because I'm like only 32.
You came to it 70 years late, Richie? How dare you?
Yeah, right.
Same here. But I watched this around the same time I watched Powers of Glory, and yeah, like because they're two very influential sort of war movies. So I had to watch it, and yeah, I definitely can see why the hype's about. It is great. Again, because it's so recent, I probably need some time to ruminate on it. But I guess same with like Jordan's Logic because it's so inspirational. I'd stick it in the S2.
We're on the same page. Watch at the same time as Past the Glory, all that stuff. So yeah,
yeah. Well, they're both 1957. It was a great year. Both Bridge on the River Kwai and Past the Glory were 57, and same year as 12 Angry Men and Witness for the Prosecution. It was a good year.
Wow, yeah, that's a good year. Yeah, but JC, what do you think for Bridge on the River Kwai?
I mean, if you know anything about me, I watched Bridge on the River Kwai because of Alec Guinness, because of Star Wars, and also because somebody once told me that the little like Jawa-like creatures in Spaceballs, that their little dink dink is from Bridge on the River Kwai.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
I don't know if when I watched it, I was just so into Star Wars that I wanted everything else to be Star Wars. I went to film school. I understand how influential the movie was, but I remember when I watched it, I just wasn't really moved by the actual movie as much as I was like, oh, look at the technical achievements of this movie and how wonderful it was for its time. So for that reason, I'd probably give it a B more so.
Yeah.
While I appreciate it, I don't remember loving watching it.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Oh wait. So we got 3 S's and a B. Is that what it's at, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that'll stay in the S tier then, probably because we got the
For
3
now,
S's.
yeah.
Maybe. I don't know if it'll go above like Full Metal Jacket. I mean, we can kind of debate that a little later, but it's around.
Yeah, we'll see because Full Metal Jacket is like 3 S's and 2 B's. It's kind of similar, and 1917 had 2 and 2, so it was kind of right in line. So those are all kind of around at least the bottom of the S tier right now. Yeah. All right, Jordan.
Sounds good. So I want to go with a little bit of a hot take. This is my hot take of the night, that a movie probably a lot of people like that I don't like. So I'm gonna go with the movie Dunkirk. Like I do not like this movie. I think it's very pretentious. I think that's the start of when Christopher Nolan started to get way too pretentious. Like it's just like, look, you have Tom Hardy, this great actor, and he's just flying in a plane in circles for 2 hours, just over and over again. We're gonna cut back to him. He's flying in circles again, and then you have all these soldiers that don't really say anything. They don't talk. You don't I guess you're supposed to get the gist of the story through through their actions and the things that they do. There's a whole thing of like the people on the small little boat that's coming to like save everyone, and I don't really understand that. I don't get it. Like it just seemed kind of stupid to me. The special effects are always great because the Christopher Nolan movie, so he killed it on the special effects. But beyond that, I was just bored. The only thing that I really even cared for is Kenneth Branagh in the movie. I thought he was at least decent. But besides that, this movie just put me to sleep in the fact that they're like usually like if I kind of dislike a movie, everyone hypes it up and it's like saying, "Oh, this is one of the greatest movies. You got to go see it." And like, it's so good. It makes me kind of like it even less because of that. So like this movie, I really didn't like it. So I'm gonna say F for Dunkirk. So.
You're gonna put it next to Pearl Harbor. You are out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it next
out
to
of
Robert,
your effing mind. Yeah,
I would
you're
rather
out of
watch
your
Pearl
mind.
Harbor than Dunkirk. Like honestly, like I actually would. So
you're out of your mind, Jordan. I like you, but you're out of your mind on this one.
Yeah.
It's not the same as a Michael Bay movie.
That's my one hot take. So we'll see what you guys think. Papa West, what do you think?
Jordan, I'm with you. I hate this movie.
Yes.
Maybe it would be better if Michael Bay did this.
Right?
I find it so boring. Yeah, Tom Hardy's in a plane. He shoots down 2 planes. It's amazing.
And he crashes. Yeah, slowly. The slowest crash over 2 hours. Yeah.
You have guys waiting to get on a boat. Nothing else happens. I do not like this movie at all. And I wanted to love it when I watched it because of all the hype. And I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on. Maybe after a rewatch, I'll like it a little bit better. But I'm not going to put myself through that anytime soon.
One of the Jonas Brothers for some reason. I don't know why, but he's in there. It's really weird.
I mean, I'll kind of give it something. The effects are great. I'm pretty sure I remember the sound. I really enjoyed the music in it. Other than that, I can't stand this movie. So I'm gonna go with a D.
Yeah, sounds good. Malcolm, what do you think?
The Jonas Brothers isn't in Dunkirk. You're thinking of Harry Styles.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of those pop stars or whatever it is. Yeah.
But Harry Styles, look, I'm just gonna say I haven't seen Dunkirk, but Harry Styles is a good actor. Like I've not hated any of his stuff he's been in. So I think he's just started acting. I think he'll get there. But I haven't seen this. This is probably one of the only Nolan movies I haven't got around to seeing. But I realised I misspoke when I said Kenneth Branagh was in 1917. This is the one he was in, not 1917.
Okay, yeah.
Richie.
Yeah, I like Dunkirk. There's no way it's an F. Just like even
you're putting it right next to Pearl Harbor is a crime. Like that's ridiculous. It's insanity.
I don't love Dunkirk, but I think it's a good. I think it's a good movie. I love the way it's shot. I think the performances are great. Yeah, it's not something I would. I'm not not running
dialogue in this thing.
I'm not running back to see it, but like it's. I might go back to see it. So, but yeah, it is. It's. I don't know. I actually think it's like I think this movie is like definitely less, but like I mean, you can argue. I don't know. I don't think it's that pretentious. I feel like in terms of the pretentiousness and Christopher Nolan's filmography, Tenet is way more pretentious than this movie.
It's way more than this movie. Way more than this movie.
So I would like I said, I liked it. So I would say B, to be honest, not an F.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I figured that I'd probably be in the minority.
Yeah.
But JC, what do you think?
Okay. I will start my rant by saying I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But the reason I haven't seen it is I watched the scene that they played before whatever movie that was that came out that year, where you got 8 minutes of boring ass pretentious Christopher Nolan. That I was like, well, this looks like a whole bunch of boring Christopher Nolan. And I also agree with you. I've never seen Tenet because I think Christopher Nolan got so full of himself after
Inception.
Yes. I watched Inception and I was like, oh my God. Like of all the people who love themselves on this planet, nobody even comes close to this guy. Yeah. And so I have stopped watching Christopher Nolan movies because after Inception, I was like, I can't. And from what I saw of Dunkirk, it was the same thing. So I'm actually with you. If I went inside tonight and my fiance was like, hey, do you want to watch Pearl Harbor or do you want to watch Dunkirk? I would pick Pearl Harbor.
Yep, same on the same.
At
one.
least Ben Affleck doesn't talk like this and cover his face for the whole. Like I would rather. I'm with you. I put Dunkirk after Pearl Harbor.
Yep. Exactly.
And I haven't seen it.
God, dude.
I don't want to.
Austin. Yeah.
God, you guys are gonna make me quit this stream. You guys are fucking insane. Listen, look, I'll say this. I'll say this. Like the first time I saw it in IMAX, I will say I was slightly confused because he does this sort of 3 different timeline thing in the movie that I didn't understand. Where it's like the stuff with Kenneth Branagh and them getting the troops off the beaches takes place over like 3 weeks, and then like the 3 days is like the guys in the boats, and then the Tom Hardy stuff is like 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever it is. I will say this movie benefits greatly from a rewatch. I rewatched it for when me and Henry did our Christopher Nolan thing. I'm not saying it's like the best Christopher Nolan. That's not what I'm trying to say. Please don't think I'm saying it's like the greatest movie ever. But this movie, when you rewatch it and you sort of after you have realized kind of what he was going for and the thing and the cross references throughout the whole thing, it works much better on a rewatch. This movie is technically outstanding. I don't think anybody can deny this movie's technically outstanding. Like if you're putting it next to Pearl Harbor, saying like the acting is on par and all that stuff, you're insane. Like this movie is way above anything Michael Bay has ever done.
Look at the special effects in Pearl Harbor, though. It
I mean, real quick, Michael Bay did The Rock, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes,
he did.
How many times have you seen The Rock? The Rock is a joy.
Yeah.
No, I this is coming from a guy that loves Armageddon. I love Armageddon, but
I love Armageddon.
but yeah. But you know, I'm talking about Dunkirk. No, but no, I will say the movie again on a rewatch went up for me from front of lukewarm to solidly that I like this movie. I'm not saying I love it. I would put it in A tier. Like I think it's actually very good for what it's doing, and the story it's actually telling. A lot of the scenes do work in that way. Yeah, I mean the actual storylines are not the greatest because you know that's not what he's trying to convey. He's more trying to convey of this sea of humanity and what they're stuck with. So when you appreciate it for what it is, it goes back and on a rewatch and gets better. So I will recommend anybody who didn't watch it rewatch it on a big TV with a good sound system. I promise you'll have a better time the second time. But I'm gonna go A tier. There's no way this movie is as bad as Pearl Harbor. You guys are ridiculous.
Well,
yeah.
We have what like 2 Fs and then an A and what were the other votes? I can't remember.
I mean, my F doesn't really count. I'm judging it.
No, his F doesn't count.
Okay.
It's an A B. It's A B D F. It's literally right in the middle of the C. Like literally right in the middle.
All right, well that's fair. Yeah.
Hey, you guys, I hate to do this, but I got to put my daughter to sleep. So I gotta jump out of the plane and pull the parachute. But before I go, can I throw up a couple honorable mentions that weren't on our list? That are
well, no, I mean, if you want to, we always do this sort of last chance Hail Mary round. If you'd like to get your picks out now, I will count them towards the overall votes. So I was going to say, if you think there are any on the movies that you want to rapid fire for either a S or A tier type situation that you think are really, really good, let me know and I will jot them down for our later rounds, JC. So
Glory, I love.
Okay.
Glory, I would put at an A. I think All Quiet on the Western Front, I'd throw it an A. And then to like trash it. Oh, Lawrence of Arabia would be an S. And then I'll throw out just a controversial one. I thought Black Hawk Down was so boring, so I'll put that down D.
Wow. Okay.
A few movies that didn't make the list that I just love. There's an old war movie called Bat 2-1 with Gene Hackman and Danny Glover that is so much fun about a downed aircraft pilot like behind enemy lines in Vietnam. I don't know if this is really a war movie, but it's a war on drugs movie, which was Traffic. I thought maybe might fit in here. And then my all-time favorite war movie, which people are going to roll their eyes at, is Transformers the movie 1986. Which it is.
I'm not going to roll your eyes at that one. That movie's good.
It's such a wonderful. If you replace all the Transformers with like real people, and you take that almost exact script and you take it out of like fantasy space and robots, and you make it like humans on Earth, it would be one of the best war movies ever made. So those are my parting thoughts on this whole thing. And thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
My daughter's gonna throw a fit if she doesn't go to bed soon. She's 18
Yeah,
months.
sounds good.
Right. I got you.
We'll do what you got to do, but yeah, you're always welcome back. If you have anything you want to plug real quick, you can do that too if you want.
If anybody's watching, I'll be at Star Wars Celebration. Come hang out at Scum and Villainy Cantina. You can watch me on Fat Man Beyond podcast every week with Kevin Smith. What else? I guess that's it for now. Scum and Villainy mostly.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, next time I'm in the LA area, that's where I'm going. First thing. So yeah.
Sweet. Let me know.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. We'll see you.
Thank you, JC. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
Well,
so, yeah, I guess it's around that time. Unless we want to do one more round with all five of us, we're still a little below the 2 hour mark, but we make it kind of quick, like 30 seconds a pop.
With only 5 of us, we could do one more round, I think.
Yeah, I think we could do a quick one. So maybe a little bit quicker, but yeah, we can get one more round of regular picks real quick if we want to do that before Hail Mary. I'm cool with that. So Pop West, you want to do another regular pick real quick?
Jordan, scroll down.
All right.
Keep scrolling, and you can stop right there.
All right.
So there's one where you just see 2 hands kind of holding each other, one going down, one going up. That is the beautiful 1993 film Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Set around World War II, and really dwells into the Holocaust. Oscar Schindler, played by Liam Neeson, he starts out, he kind of takes advantage of everything that's going on. He only hires Jews because they're cheap labor. And so you're kind of seeing this business opportunity he sees. And then he starts seeing what the Jews are going through with the concentration camps and all that. And the fact that it's all black and white, except for this little girl in a red coat, or the little girl's red coat. You see her in the ghettos, and then you see him just looking at these coats, and he picks it up and he just starts crying. That is the most tear-jerking moment in any movie ever. Ray Fiennes plays the main German officer. That he is by far the best villain ever. I don't know his name. It doesn't matter. I hate his guts. I don't care. I hate his guts. He makes you hate him whenever he's just smoking a cigarette on the balcony, just shooting people, just to shoot people. That is an unlikable character, and that is a fantastic acting job. Everyone in this is great, or great performances, not great people. Great performances. This is a beautiful movie. Definitely S tier.
Yeah, sounds good. Malcolm, what do you think for Schindler's List?
I think you'll find Ray Fiennes' character is just called He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like Schindler's List. I think it is a beautiful movie, and Liam Neeson does give a good performance. Honestly, I was wondering how long it was going to take to get to this because we got Pearl Harbor ranked before this, which was but I don't love it as much as you. I'm going to have to say A for me personally.
Yeah. Richie, what do you think?
I'm kind of with Malcolm. I really like this movie. Again, it might be something that I tend to watch these classic movies late. So it's like it's sort of like so it takes a little longer to sort of ruminate with me, So, but so I watch this I watched this later than I watched Powers of Glory and Bridge in the River Kwai. It wasn't like I did it. I did it like a triple movie thing right then. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting, a movie marathon. But no. I do like Schindler's List a lot, though, and I think it's still Liam Neeson's best performance. So I would say A, but I wouldn't be mad if it ended up being S.
You're not mad. Just vote S. Jesus Christ.
Well, Austin, what do you think?
The movie's an obvious S. I'm almost tempted to say not a war movie, though.
I was tinkering at that.
I'm tempted to say not a war movie because I understand that it takes place at the same time as World War II, but it's not a war movie. It's a Holocaust movie, and there are no depictions of war. There are no. It's just kind of what's going on politically in Germany. What's going on with this businessman. I'm going to vote not a war movie on this one. I realize that Schindler's List is an S movie. Obviously, I'm not going to vote against that. If we were talking about, obviously when we did like Spielberg movies or whatever, like it was an easy S tier. I'm going to vote not a war movie on this one.
Well, I'm going to say that it is a war movie because just because you don't have a bunch of battle scenes and people shooting and exploding things or tanks and airplanes, all that stuff, like it can still be a war movie because like all the setting and the focal point is about World War II and what's going on during World War II. So I mean, for me, be different. If that was just a little scene, like me and Austin had a debate about Forrest Gump. I think it's a war movie, but it only has a little scene in it.
I don't think it's a war movie at all. It has a war scene and a biopic.
Yeah.
that does not make a war movie.
But even more than that, though, I think Schindler's List it is more like World War II centric. So, and I'm going to say that it's a masterpiece in filmmaking. Like it's just Steven Spielberg's absolute masterpiece. It's just so good. It's a hard watch, so it's not really one of those ones that you really go back to watch multiple times. I've only seen it once, and I was really late to the party on it. And like, I mean, just for like how much of a masterpiece it is, I almost want to put it in my top 64, but it's not there because it's just so brutal and hard to watch. So I'm gonna say that it's a war movie and it's S tier for sure. So. Yeah, so where are we at?
Well, I mean, again, if I had to vote for it, I'd give it an S. I kind of want to put it in the not war movie category, but I mean, if I had to give it a grade, I'll still give it an S. So I mean, that's fine. Yeah. But even with that, it's still on the back end of the thing right now. I suppose. Yeah. So
I should have gone with my gut. I was tinkering with the idea it's not a war movie. I
yeah, I mean, I see the argument, and I actually Googled. Is Schindler's List a war movie? But it's kind of 50-50. There's some people who argue that it isn't, and there's some people who argue that it is. So yeah, it's more of a war drama. But anyways, I mean, I'm fine with it. But yeah, I could see us getting roasted in the comments for being like, you include Schindler's List as a war movie, but not like this movie. Yeah. I could see that. We'll
I think to put it in not a war movie, we probably need to have at least 3 votes, I'd say. So
yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing. Like, even putting it in not a war movie, if it didn't make the list, you'll have people go, "Oh, what is Schindler's List?" So
yeah, right.
You're really not going to win either way. But I will say, I do think Schindler's List is more of a war movie than Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is definitely not a war movie.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
My argument was Forrest Gump is to a war movie as it also is to a football movie. Like you can make that argument. Saying that is like saying it's a football movie just because it has a couple of football scenes in it.
Yeah.
For me personally, but that was my argument. But anyways, we'll move on. Malcolm, what's your you got another pick?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
God, the dogs are riled up today. Jeez, Richie.
Yeah. Funny enough, my dog didn't bark after the my dog didn't bark after the whistling, so which is weird.
Yeah.
So there's at least the one that I'm surprised hasn't been mentioned yet.
The other Spielberg movie.
I'm not going to mention that. I'm going to go for the Best Picture winner pattern.
Right.
Look, this is one that that I came to late because I was doing a Oscar episode of Rankum at one stage, and saw this once again. This is another one of those weird ones. It's on Disney Plus.
Interesting.
But this is one I watched, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this. I think this is a good movie. Like, well, yes, this is one that does skew a little bit biopic-y as well. But that being said, it is also a war movie too. Like, there's a lot of action and all that, and like George C. Scott is a really good portrayal of George S. Patton. I almost got those names around the wrong way.
They're both George.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm going to go S.
Yeah. Sounds good. Richie, what do you think?
Richie?
I haven't got around to watching Patton yet, so I haven't seen it, but I want to.
Yeah. Austin?
Another one of the ones that my dad introduced me to very young. So yes, I've seen a lot of these older like 60s and 70s war movies because he showed them a lot to me, or we sit down and watch them. So yeah, I've seen Patton. I go S tier for Patton. Patton is an excellent, more of a war biopic, but there's absolutely stuff where he's leading troops. There are action scenes. But yeah, it's one of the few sort of war biopics where. We're following George C. Scott and sort of the stuff around Operation Market Garden. Has one of the best opening scenes ever. It's literally the thing from the poster where it opens up with him standing in front of this giant American flag, and he's giving this great speech. And one of the famous lines from it is, you don't win a war by dying for your country. You win a war by making the other poor bastard die for his. And he's fantastic. George C. Scott is the man. He's always great. I would definitely go as far as a classic, kind of 60s, 70s war movie. Patton should be on the list. So I'll go S tier with Malcolm on this one and say S for Patton.
Yeah. Well, I've not seen Patton. It's one of those ones that like hasn't really been on my radar. Maybe someday I'll get to it, but I haven't seen it. So, but Papa West.
Yeah, just like what Jordan said, it's been on my list. I haven't gotten it.
We need older people on this panel. Seen some of these movies. Oh, we're dying here.
Yeah. Well, we have enough people to actually put it up there.
And it's only 2 votes.
Okay.
You guys you guys don't watch old movies.
All right. Well, I haven't seen. So, yep. Yeah, but
I mean, in their defense, some of the old movies are harder to come by as well. So.
Yeah.
You buy Blu-rays like I do, people. You buy them.
Right.
You buy them on Blu-ray, and you watch them.
You see the arguments both ways, because when I buy Blu-rays now, they're like, "What's the point of buying a Blu-ray?" Like people are just like just watch it online.
Because not everything's on streaming services.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I tell
you buy Blu-rays.
It's not all there. Or like, what if your internet goes out? You can still watch stuff.
Yeah, you can still watch movies.
We'll give you another pick.
Was it?
I was just saying that we'll give you another pick since we haven't seen it.
Yeah, since it's still not seen. Yeah.
The last thing I'll say before I actually go to my pick is I'm one of those ones that I don't understand the blind buying of movies.
I buy blind buy. You should see my collection. I have all kinds of shit movies I don't like in my blind buy.
Austin's the king of blind buys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the last time I blind bought something I actually liked, because I bought Last Night in Soho because I couldn't find it on streaming service. But anyway,
hey, I own Barry Lyndon on Criterion Blu-ray now, and I did not enjoy it. So now I'm stuck with it on Blu-ray.
The last blind buy that I did was the Basketball Diaries for Leo DiCaprio episode. That movie is not that good.
But I'm going to go for one that I'm pretty sure people have seen. Where this will end, I don't know, but I want to get this out of the way. Because I saw one. I think I saw Wonder Woman on the list. And this is one of those movies which, just besides Dialogue 17, there, Jordan.
Let's see. Which one did you say?
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, what'd you say? Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Okay.
Okay, I didn't hear what you said either.
I didn't catch what you said.
Yeah, it's all good. It's just beside Starlag 17 above the Hoot Locker.
I don't know why I'm not seeing it here.
Right
there.
there.
Here it is. Okay.
You had it. You got it right there. Got it.
It's kind of camouflage in between that. Yeah. But yeah.
This is one I'm just going to go like for the middle of the packing for C. because I just want to get this out the way. But I do like this movie. It's just one of those ones that the actual war aspect of it is really the last act of the movie. Basically, a lot of it is just leading up to it. But this is just one that I do think it does work as a war movie, just because even though it's only like the war scene is actually the last act of the movie, I do think it works because it does show sort of leading up there, and especially when it's Diana Prince sort of finding out that sort of women, like when it comes to wartime, aren't really that active in the war, and I think it is a interesting take on it, even though it is a comic book movie first and foremost. But I just wanted to bring it up to see how this goes.
Yeah. Richie, what do you think from Wonder Woman?
You made a good argument, Malcolm, but I'm still going to go not a war movie.
Yeah.
It's a war movie. I think it's it's obviously set around the war, but I don't. It's not a. Yeah, I don't consider it a war movie. It's so if we're not gonna, but if Schindler's List is like a bit iffy with a war movie, this is definitely way more iffy with a war movie. So I'm going to say not a war movie, but yeah, I like the movie.
Yeah. Sounds good. Austin, what do you think?
I would argue it's more of a war movie than Schindler's List because she's actually fighting in World War I trenches in trench warfare, and there's a whole center of the movie that where she's in the war and she's actually fighting in a war and doing missions in World War I, and then her surrounding group are troops, on World War I missions. I think it's a hell of a lot more of a war movie than Schindler's List.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Anyway, I can't.
I mean, the movie centers around World War One, so but as Malcolm was saying, having said that, I will give Wonder Woman an A. I think it's one of the better DC movies. I think what Patty Jenkins did actually definitely rocks it. It's way better than Wonder Woman 88. That's for damn sure. At least it's a depiction of the story and Gal Gadot's kind of whimsical, sort of look at the world. But yeah, I think that whole middle sequence is actually really good when she's in the trenches. One of the better DC action sequences. I'll go A for Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So I have a bit of a hot take. It's not really going to affect my like how I actually vote though. I'm one of the weird ones. I like Wonder Woman 84 actually. I like way more than most people. I like it better than the first one. I'm like in the very minority there. I understand that. I just like Chris Pine being the fish out of water and all that stuff. But this movie's still great though. Like I still really like it. I do agree that it's a war movie and and I would probably give it a solid A is where I would put it. I mean, it's not to say in 1984 is going to be an S for me. They're still both A's. It's very close for me on how much I like the other one, but for this one, I'm going to say A.
So. Although 84 is not a war movie.
Yeah, no.
That one I can, look, I give you that one. That's not a war.
No.
That one isn't. No.
But Papa West.
Wonder Woman 100% is a war movie.
I get it.
Watching the Amazons fight the Germans is awesome. The only thing that would have made it better was if it happened in World War II and they were Nazis and watching these women kick Nazis' butts. Mm-hmm. I'd be all for. This is I would say like the second best DC Worlds of DC, whatever they want to call their movie universe. Second best film on there. I'm gonna go with A. I love this one.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like probably A is where it's gonna end up. Probably.
Yeah. You can bump it up there. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, Richie, you're up.
I'm still allowed to take after that.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. No, I mean I kind of get where you're coming from as far as like it's a comic book movie first, but I think, but then again, so is 300. It's a comic book movie, but it's still a war movie. It's just you can have that sort of thing. Again, I would argue Schindler's List is way less of a war movie than Wonder Woman, but that's just me personally.
I'm debating whether not the one that got left. I don't feel like okay. I'm going to champion this movie because not many people. I don't feel like it's underrated. So hopefully people have seen it. Yeah, just stuff there. I think Three Kings is awesome. Three Kings is a great movie. It's like a fantastic movie. I think it's one of the like first times we sort of saw Ice Cube in that sort of a more dramatic. Like it's still very funny. It's one of the funny sort of proves that a war movie can be kind of funny, and it's humor that I get unlike Doctor Strange. I don't know if I'd put it S, to be honest. A is good for it, but yeah, like the chemistry between the leads are really good. Like Mark Wahlberg, Ice Cube, and George Clooney. I think fantastic. I just really enjoy this movie. It's one I go back to. So, Three Kings.
Yeah. Sounds good. Austin, what do you think for Three Kings?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched this. I'm kind of due for a rewatch, and I have a feeling if me and Henry do like David O. Russell movies, I'll finally get to that rewatch because it's probably been 20 years since I've seen Three Kings. I do remember enjoying it, and I really need to go back to it because I've become a really big George Clooney fan. Over the years, I think he's just really, really solid in damn near everything he does. I'm also an Ice Cube fan. I think he's kind of underrated as an actor, for what he's asked to do in a lot of these movies. I think he's quite good. But then again, I'm an Anaconda fan, so take that for what you will. I think A is a good spot for Three Kings. I think it's a really solid sort of more modern-ish, Gulf War kind of movie. I'll go A for Three Kings. I think it's a good spot for it.
Yeah. For me, I like Three Kings. I think that that's pretty solid. The only thing that just annoys me, I remember watching this, is a freaking reporter that's like following them around, and she's like F this, F that, just the whole time. She didn't really do anything to really like advance. I just found her freaking annoying. I don't know if that was Nora Dunn. I can't remember who.
It's SNL's Nora Dunn. Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but like she annoyed the hell out of me, so I could have maybe done without her character. But I mean, that's kind of the like point that she's following these guys are around. But I do think though that like maybe we should have it like a war movie from each era, and this one kind of like fits the like 90s kind of like Desert Storm kind of eras. But I can't quite give it an S tier. Maybe it'll make the honorable mention, so I'll give it a solid A. So, yeah. But Papa West, what do you think?
I don't love this one. I enjoyed it at points, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd lean a little bit more towards B.
Yeah. Fair, but
Malcolm, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Your mic's off.
Yeah.
Your mic is on.
I haven't seen it, but I looked at the cast list and saw that and Jim Gaffigan and Jamie Kennedy are in this.
Yeah.
There's some interesting people in there, like Ali Shawkat. There's some interesting ones. But so
all right, so we got three A's and a B, so it'll stay in
A. Yeah. Sounds good. Well, Austin, you got one more you want to go?
I mean, am I the champion of sort of dad war movies today? Again, I don't know if it'll make it because they're all getting shot down for people not having seen it. I'll talk about The Great Escape. The Great Escape.
Not what I was thinking of, but still.
I mean, I've got other ones I'm sure I'll throw out in the Hail Mary round that nobody else will have seen or care about. But yeah, I'll talk about The Great Escape. This is kind of quintessential, Steve McQueen. Again, another POW movie, but it's more of a Nazi POW movie instead of Bridge on the River Kwai is the Pacific, Japanese stuff. But yeah, it's really good. Fantastic kind of old school, 60s chemistry. One of the great sort of escape scenes of all time with an iconic, motorcycle jump. Great cast. Steve McQueen, James Garner, Richard Attenborough, who, a lot of people know as, John Hammond from Jurassic Park. But you got Charles Bronson, Donald Pleasance, James Coburn. I mean, again, a laundry list of old school, cool kind of 60s actors. But yeah, I mean, just a great sort of these guys strategizing and kind of failing a couple of times before finally, making the great escape, as it is in the title of the film. But yeah, I think it's really great, and maybe I'm just the one champion who thinks that a lot of the best war movies kind of came out of the 60s and 70s, because they were so kind of poignant at the time. But yeah, I'll champion the Great Escape and see what everybody thinks.
Yeah, so I know that I have seen this movie. I remember very little about it though. But so it must have been maybe preoccupied with something when I was doing it. But I remember Charles Bronson for sure, Steve McQueen, like some of those guys, Richard Attenborough. So yeah, I remember it being good, but I probably need to give it a rewatch because I just don't remember a lot about it. But from what I do remember, it's enough to probably give it an A. I'll say A for the Great Escape. So, yeah. But Papa West, what do you think?
Pez, please don't hate me. I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't seen it? Yeah. Well, we'll see if anyone else has. Malcolm?
I have seen this. This is one that I actually remember watching with my dad once back when I was a wee lad.
Me too.
Dad,
I saw it with my dad when I was a wee lad as well. That's with a lot of these movies.
I haven't seen it since though, but just because why not? I'll give it a yes.
Sure, yeah. Richie, what do you think?
It's been a long time since I've seen it too. I can't remember how I watched it. I might have watched it with my dad too. I think it was on cable at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, watch this. Yeah, I do remember really liking it. And yeah, like the cast is phenomenal. And yeah, like everyone, like I think cool is like the best descriptor for it. Like it's just a cool movie. And yeah, like everyone remembers even if people haven't seen it, remember the motorcycle scene. But yeah, like I do remember like it being really enjoying it. So I'll fuck it, yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I'm a proxy for my dad on this episode. I have to be honest. You know what I mean? Like my dad, champions movies, and it's like I'm championing the dads of of the world who grew up and loved these movies. So I'm kind of trying to share the love of the dad war movies, so to speak.
Yes.
So forgive me for being the champion of that, but I have to because it did have an influence on me. It's the reason why I like a lot of these movies. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of these are like dad/grandpa. Like you say, dad. I watch a lot of these with my grandpa. So yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, these old school movies that these guys either saw in the theater or obviously were on TV a lot. Back in the day, things like that. But yeah, I enjoy them a lot. So it's got a great Criterion collection that they kind of re-released there. Look at that poster! What a cool poster! For Criterion, cool. Really cool stuff. Again, I appreciate a good, a good sort of artistic thing. But
yeah. Well,
all right, Jordan. One more final pick before we go into the Hail Mary round. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So for my last pick, I want to go for something that is a little different, but it's a movie I really love, and I don't want to see what the rest of the cast picks, and I put it on here for a reason because I wanted to at least mention it. I want to talk about the movie Mulan. So Mulan is my favorite Disney movie of all time. I freaking adore this movie. I actually love all the music in it. I love all the characters. It's a really cool story. That's definitely a war movie because Mulan chooses to go to war, so her dad doesn't have to because they're taking the oldest son from every family, but their family doesn't have any sons. So the emperor forces the dad to go to war, but then she sneaks off in the middle of the night. One of my favorite scenes is the scene when she cuts her hair off, and there's some really powerful music playing. Like if you go back and watch that scene, it's actually pretty powerful because it's kind of like the transformation of her just kind of sacrificing everything for her family. Like she doesn't know if she's going to live or if she's going to die. So, and then also too, to make it fun, I know it's just kind of like just out there though. you have a fun little dragon that's like along with him, but voiced by Eddie Murphy that's just doing stuff, which I wish they would have put in the live action one. I didn't really like the live action movie a lot. I didn't hate it like some people do, but Mulan is a movie I grew up watching on repeat as far as Disney movies go. So and also it has a lot of really cool battle scenes for like a classic animated Disney movie. So I'm going to say S tier for Mulan and just shoot my shot. I'll see what you guys think. So Papa West, what do you think about Mulan?
I think that I will make a man out of you, Jordan. I love Mulan.
Yes.
Very close
Absolutely.
to making my top 64. Very close.
Nice.
Did not make it.
It's in my top 64.
No, I love this one. I love Mushu. Of course, love Mulan. Donny Osmond sings in this movie.
It's so good. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Absolutely an S.
Yeah. Let's go for Mulan. Malcolm, what do you think?
So I saw this on the list. Had to really think about it, and was going to sort of talk about it if it came up. This is one that I really don't consider a war movie. Like, well, yes, she's in the army and they're in a war. I get that. It's what the war is kind of more of a backdrop. I think it's more about her being in the army than about the actual war. So I'm going to go. It's not a war movie.
That's fair. I can kind of see that argument a little bit, but Richie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's enough in there to make it a war movie, but I can understand why you would. Yeah, I'm to and fro on that as well. But I'll vote for it like it is one. But I don't have the same affinity for it as you guys do. I think it's a good movie. I'm entertained by it. I haven't gone back to it in ages. So maybe it'll go up on another rewatch. But I'll say B.
Yeah, that's fair. Austin, what do you think?
This might be my hot take of the night. I don't love Mulan. It kind of bores me. And I tried to rewatch it again fairly recently, and I got like an hour into it, and I was damn near falling asleep. I don't love Mulan. I will recognize that the animation is very good. I mean, the center story is solid. I just out of those '90s, Disney movies, I don't click with this one terribly much, and maybe it's because it just doesn't relate to me personally, and that's a fair criticism, but yeah, I give Mulan like a C. It doesn't work for me very much, and I'm sorry to do that, but it just doesn't work for me.
Well, so we have two S's. We have a
B and a C.
A B and a C. So maybe like.
I mean, I think it's fair. It'd be A, but it'd be like the bottom of A. Yeah, it'd be kind of under there. Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
All right, so cool. I think it's about that time. We will start to kind of wrap it up here. We'll go into the general sort of last chance Hail Mary round. If there's anything up there you guys think is either a strong S or an A on the list, go ahead and shout them out, and I will be looking for those crossovers. So even if somebody says, obviously, one that you agree with, just go ahead and say it as well, and I will jot them down. And Jordan, this might be the one this time, much like you guys with that action thing, I might have the most out of anybody on this one because I've seen a lot of these movies. Yeah, so I might be the one that rattles off like 10 movies on this one. But
we have 12 to vote on because of you, Austin.
Yeah, right. But I don't think there'll be a lot of ones that nobody else will say besides me, so I think it's okay. But yeah, so why don't we start with unless you guys need a minute to kind of jot any down or whatever, look over the list again. You guys a second.
I've already done mine.
To kind of scroll.
Okay.
Through.
I don't know, Papa West, if you're ready, you can go ahead. If you need another minute, let me know.
Well, I'm just gonna have Jordan kind of move up and down the list for me. So Jordan,
stop just slowly.
There. Stop right there. Yeah. I'll let you know when you can scroll down. So we're gonna go with All Quiet on the Western Front. Jesus worked hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Braveheart, Glory. Now I can go and scroll down a little bit, Jordan.
All right.
Inglourious Bastards. Keep going. Monuments Men, The Patriot, Saving Private Ryan. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Malcolm. I'll go to you first.
Malcolm. Yeah.
I'm going to go. So I'm going to go the Thin Red Line, the Five Bloods.
Hang on, look, just make sure. Give me a second to jot them down. So give me about 3 seconds in between each one, just so I can write them down. So Thin Red Line, The Five Bloods. Yeah, go ahead.
Glory.
All right.
Edge of Tomorrow.
All right.
Troy. I think I saw one. And Good Morning Vietnam.
Okay.
All
right. Sounds good. And Richie, I will go to you, sir.
All right. I've got Good Morning Vietnam, Inglorious Bastards, U-571, Akira Kurosawa's Ran, Gallipoli, Atonement, Glory, Saving Private Ryan, and Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. So here we go. So I will go. I will go Saving Private Ryan as well. Where Eagles Dare is a really cool old school Clint Eastwood war movie that was the inspiration for Wolfenstein. For anybody who's interested, Kelly's Hero. That poster rules. Kelly's Heroes is kind of similar to Dirty Dozen. Really good old school cool movie. Rescue Dawn, great Werner Herzog POW movie. I'll go Hurt Locker for a more modern PTSD. Ron Ryan's Express, another cool dad war movie that's a lot of fun. The Deer Hunter with Robert De Niro is excellent. I'll second Inglourious Bastards and Good Morning Vietnam. And I'll second Troy. I think Troy fucking rules. Troy's really fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, when I watched Troy with my ex-wife, they're just waiting for the gratuitous Brad Pitt ass shot in that movie.
Oh, yeah, there is. But I think Troy is badass. Like, that Troy's great.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go off of my written list here, but
okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Saving Private Ryan for sure.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll go with the Thin Red Line. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having to like read them all here. Let's see. Sorry, maybe a second because I didn't get a look at it while I was scrolling for everybody else. I'll go with the Inglourious Bastards. I'll second that. Let's see. I'll say Last of the Mohicans. I'll go with. Way too many movies on this list.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll say Captain America: The First Avenger. Let's see. I'll second Rescue Dawn. Say that one. That might be it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that'll be all.
All right. So you guys give me just a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me tally up the crossovers here. So yeah. I think we'll have maybe 5 or 6, something like that. All right.
Yeah. There's so many good movies I haven't seen. Like I got to go and like watch a lot. There's a lot of blind spots for me here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is probably one you probably should have split into decades or something.
Yeah,
'cause
right. With too many
But,
decade stuff going on, so we're just like, we'll try and squeeze them in.
yeah, I mean,
but here's the problem is that when we do like pre 1970, we'd have a panel where nobody's seen anything except for me.
Yeah.
So just be a panel of people going, I haven't seen it. Like, so I think we're okay because we haven't even filled up the S tier yet, honestly. So I think it's all right.
I mean, the other one is like with war movies in general. Like, it's not a lot of people actually go to them because I mean, like, I only jumped in because when I tuned in, I saw there was only 3 people. I was like, I've seen a few of them. I'll jump in. I mean, I know I knew I was going to be saying I haven't seen it a lot, but
I was like, thanks, Malcolm. Then we need some people. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But we had a couple latecomers, so it's all right.
All right. I think I'm just about done. I am just double checking my list here, making sure I got everything.
Oh, I don't know if it's too late, but can I give a vote to Glory too? I don't know if that already got multiple votes.
Well, Glory got a couple of crossovers, so we'll vote on it. Okay. So it's fine. Yeah. We'll Glory had 2 or 3 shoutouts, so it's on the list. Okay, I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 movies we got to vote on. Okay. So eight real quick.
Just quickly, looking at some of these movies, Mel Gibson's been involved in a lot of war movies.
Yeah.
That's his wheelhouse, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, but oddly enough, we only had 1 vote for Braveheart, so we're not going to vote on Braveheart. So all right, so we will start with an interesting one. We'll talk about it in a second. Edge of Tomorrow. So it kind of came up on our action thing, but Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll just go up the same order each time. So Papa West.
I'd go with an A.
Yeah.
Malcolm.
Edge Tomorrow. I'm going to go A.
Yeah.
Richie?
I would say S.
I say not a war movie because we included every alien invasion movie as a war movie. There'd be nothing but alien invasion movies on here. Not a war movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say S tier because I do think that it counts because they're actually soldiers going into war, much like Starship Troopers on this list. So, yeah.
I was going to say Starship Troopers is on this list.
But they actually declare war on Klendathu, and it's an organized war. This one, we're being invaded, and they're just being thrown into it. I don't know. I have an argument against it tomorrow, but because if we included that, then you would have to include Independence Day as a war movie because we use our planes to fight back. You know what I mean? Like I understand it, but I think it's more of alien invasion territory. But but that's me.
Also, Steven, too, he said his question in Gettysburg. I included it just because I think that it's like one of those ones that's like could have been in theaters. I know it wasn't, but it was that high quality.
I think it had subsequent releases in theaters. I know Gods and Generals did. I think it had ones afterwards. I think. I don't know. I figured it'd be one of those movies a lot of people hadn't seen anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, those are ones that would rate like a B tier. That's why I didn't nominate it, but
they're very long. They're like 4 hours. Those some long ass movies. Well, anyways, my vote, despite me voting for not a war movie, it's 2 and 2, so it's like right on the border. 2 S's, 2 A's.
So, where is it on here?
It was on the right side, I think, unless it got shifted around.
Yeah, that's right.
Live and repeat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of on the border. I almost want to say higher A tier, just because we have more S's right now up in the S tier, as far as
didn't we have a couple that only had 2 S's that are up there? But
we'll see, because I'll go back through the list at the end and we'll see, and we'll kind of shift some things around. So next we'll go the other Spielberg movie, Saving Private Ryan, Papa West.
F.
Yeah. Malcolm.
I'm not going to go that far down. C.
Wow. C. Wow. Okay.
I feel like it's become popular now to shit on this movie for some reason, but I'm gonna say it's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of my overall favorite Spielberg movies, but as a war movie, it's a fucking S just for the opening 20 minutes alone. Yeah, S.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just for the opening 20 minutes, yeah, and a lot of other things like great.
No, it's still a good movie,
yes.
but like, goddamn, it's the
Yeah.
most accurate depiction of D-Day ever put to
Yeah.
screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So even with Malcolm, it's still 4 S's and a C. So I think that's enough to bump it up in there.
Yeah. And for a war movie, I think it's.
I'm not
it's
going
a
to lie.
near
I thought
masterpiece for me.
Papa Reese said F. So.
Oh.
No, he said
okay.
S.
Oh,
Okay,
you said
that's
S.
why.
No, he was one of the people who nominated it along with everybody else. So I'm assuming he likes it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of
What a twist. I hate
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I'll go back to the votes and we'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll figure it out. All right, next I'll go Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards. Papa.
S.
Yeah.
Malcolm.
B.
Richie.
Malcolm's the hot take tonight.
S.
Austin.
S.
Yep, and I'll say S. Easy S. So it's right there.
All right. So move that one up. So yeah, I figure we get a few last minute ones up in there. So yeah, we'll shift some stuff around in the S tier because I'll have to go back to some earlier ones.
Private Ryan. So
yeah. Kind of. All right. Next will be, we had 2 votes for it. I wonder if it's going to land in a certain category I'm thinking of, but Terrence Malick's The Thin Red Line. Papa.
Yeah.
Have not seen it.
All right. Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Better than Saving Private Ryan. A.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I've heard that argument because they came out, I think, the same year. So I heard that argument, but online. Richie.
I've heard that argument, but I disagree. B.
Yeah.
And I have the Criterion Blu-ray I blind bought sitting over there, but because of all the Stanley Kubrick shit I've had to watch this movie, I didn't get around to seeing it, so I haven't seen it. Okay. But I came very close. That was going to be my next watch. Yeah, so I have it sitting over there.
I'm going to say A because I actually watched this today. It's one of my 3 that I watched. Actually, was able to fit in 3 movies today, surprisingly. And A Thin Red Line, I'll just say that I'm not going to give it S because it just almost seems like an Oscar baity type movie, like set as a war movie. But so yeah, A.
Okay, I got 2 A's and a B, so yeah.
So
I mean, it was nominated.
You put it in A. Yeah, right. Yeah, so like it did the right job. I mean, yeah, that it set out to do. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Next we will go. Yeah, it's fine. Next, we will go with Werner Herzog's Rescue Dawn because me and Jordan both nominated that. Papa West.
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
Okay.
Malcolm.
Haven't seen it.
Well, this is yeah. Haven't seen it.
Oh, it's not gonna make it. I give it like I give it a strong A. I really like Rescue Dawn.
I give it an S. I mean, I think that I guess like both of them give like great performance. Even Steve Zahn, like he was one of the career.
Yeah. If you want to see Steve Zahn give a great like dramatic performance, watch Rescue Dawn. It's really good. It's a POW movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's really I haven't seen you. So
yeah. Check it out. Anyways, me and Malcolm both nominated. So Troy with Brad Pitt about the Trojan War. Papa West.
I had fun with it. B.
Okay, Malcolm.
Yes.
You are hot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
B.
Yeah,
it's in my top 100. S. I love Troy.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. This movie is way too long. It's over 3 hours. And, like I can't sit through all that. They even have an extended version that's even longer. I gotta go C for me. So, yeah.
It's because it's bad ass.
Yeah.
Extended.
Bad.
But it's longer.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah,
It's still an extended edition because it's a longer movie.
No, actually,
Yeah.
the theatrical is like 2 hours and 20. The extended one is about 3:10. But the extended one is
maybe I
essential. It has a lot more character shit that movie needs. Honestly, the theatrical cut is far inferior to the extended cut. So,
like for me to enjoy any kind of period piece stuff, it's got to be like an hour and a half to 2 hours. It can't be longer than that, or I won't enjoy it.
well, then you're
So-
you're fucked because a lot of these movies are 2.5 hours. So
Except
you're
Lord of the
gonna-
Rings. That's the only one that I like that's long. So yeah, said that.
All right.
Isn't
Well, it had
Path to
2
Glory
S's,
almost 3
2
hours?
B's, and a C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Yeah.
Isn't Paths of Glory almost 3 hours?
No,
Yeah,
Paths of
yeah.
Glory is
No.
Paths of Glory is 85 minutes.
Yeah.
Paths of Glory
Exactly.
Paths of Glory is very short. Yes, it's a
Yeah,
short
Very
movie.
short, actually. It's one of the
Yeah.
shorter on this list. It's 85 minutes. It's a quick watch.
It was the shortest of
yeah,
3
it's
movies I
surprising.
watched today. Yeah,
Stanley Kubrick used to make really short movies. That and The Killing are both like 85 minutes. His first 2 big movies.
But
Yeah. And
What
same
was
with
the
Dr.
best-
Strangelove. Dr. Strangelove was like 90. It was two S's, 2 B's, and a C. So maybe like bottom of A or something. It's still up there.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right.
Some contention for honorable mention.
All right. We will go 2 more. We've got.
Hoping we didn't notice.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go Glory with Denzel Washington. Papa.
All right.
A.
Yeah. Malcolm?
All right, Papa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Richie.
Richie?
A.
I will also go A.
And I think I'm going to say S. Yeah.
All right. It's 2 S's and 3 A's. So it may be on
Maybe at
the
the top of
higher
S?
point of A. Top
I mean
of,
A, sorry.
Top of
Sorry.
A.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it might be
Yeah.
an honorable mention territory. We'll
That's what I
see.
meant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
we'll
put it
see.
here.
All right.
Okay.
And the very last one will be Robin Williams' Good Morning Vietnam.
All right.
Yeah, I was trying to see where it is on there.
I didn't see it. So.
There it is. Yeah, it's on the right now. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Right there.
All right.
Yep.
So Papa West, Good Morning Vietnam.
I'd go with an A on it.
No,
Yeah, I would also go an A on it.
Richie.
I'll go S. I really like this movie.
I think it's the best war comedy that's ever been made. S.
Yeah.
And I have not seen it, so it sounds like I need to. So
It's a Robin Williams movie, man. You got to see it.
I
It's
know.
great. Yeah.
yeah, right. And we have Jim Carrey versus Robin Williams coming up soon, so I got to watch.
It'll be in that tournament for sure because
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
one deserves to be in there. All right, so it's 2 and 2 again. It's another split, so kind of like Glory, kind of around there.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go back through because we're gonna have to shuffle around this S tier a little bit and go back to some of the ones that we had up there early, just because we only had 3 people on the panel early, and then we kind of got some gradual votes here and there. So
Yeah.
I think 3 S's will be enough to kind of get some of these in there because we only had a few that had like 4 or 5 overwhelming. So the ones, let me see the ones that had the highest votes so far. So we had Apocalypse Now had 4 S's and an A, so that's probably going to be the closest. Yeah, that might still be number 1 because we didn't have anything that had a full on S tier sweep. Oddly enough, this is one of the first shows we've had where we didn't have any sweeps. Wow. Yeah, so that's interesting. The next closest might be Inglourious Bastards, had 4 S's and a B, so that's going to be fairly high.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, technically, Fury had 3 S's. But it was only 3 votes. I don't know. I can't remember who voted on Fury. Did Malcolm or Papa vote on Fury?
Yeah. Fury was right before I hopped on.
Right. Okay.
Right before.
I haven't seen it. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I give a vote on it to give it a pop?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Why not? On this list. It's an S tier. Great movie.
Okay. There you go. Hey.
Good.
Sweet. Okay. So
I was
Might be
actually
right
S's.
at there at the top,
did not
maybe.
get on.
Like I think.
Well,
I think maybe.
maybe we
Close.
can vote on that. We can vote
Yeah.
on that. We'll go back
Yeah,
and maybe vote on those top three or something. We'll play around with
We
that.
can vote on it.
But yeah, those would be near the in contention. Gone with the Wind had 3 S's and 2 A's, so I think it still skirts in there.
That's right where it is. I'll leave it.
Yeah. So let's see. Saving Private Ryan had 4 S's and a C, but I think that's still enough to kind of get it around that 5 or 6 slot right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Paths of Glory had we only had 3 votes on it. It was 2 S's and an A. Was that before you guys jumped in?
Yeah, that's one of the
I
first
think me
three.
and Richie gave our thoughts on it as we jumped in.
Yeah. I voted. I nominated Paths of Glory, so I was here.
Yeah, and I gave it an S, and then I think Jordan gave it like an A. I think JC hadn't seen it.
That was before I hopped on too.
Papa, have you seen it?
I
seen
have.
Paths of Glory?
I have.
Okay.
I will give it an S as well.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Then then it's going to stay up there then.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 S's and an A. So yeah, because of the sheer number of votes, it'll be in that middle territory. Full Metal Jacket was
here because that was 3 S's and a C for Saving Private Ryan. So
well, Saving Private Ryan had 4 S's and a C, so I had more S ones. I think Saving Private Ryan is still above it. Still above it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that counts for something. So Full Metal Jacket had 3 S's and 2 B's, so that one's close. That one might be like in number 10 territory, maybe like in the 10.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be close.
Put it here.
Yeah, slide it back. 1917 was right on the border, along with Glory and Good Morning Vietnam, with like a 2-2 situation.
So maybe even below Full Metal. I don't know.
Yeah. Schindler's List had 3 S's and 2 A's, so I mean it'll probably stay about where it's at right there.
Yeah.
Bridge on the River Kwai had 3 S's and a B, so again it's probably more in that number 9 slot or something, 8 or 9 slot. And then the Great Escape had 3 S's and an A, so it's more solid than 1917. So I think 1917 unfortunately is going to get the bump to like top of A. Is going to get the bump down.
Yeah.
So.
All right. That sounds fair.
And realistically, with that,
I don't know if you've
so all 4 of those movies at the top of A, 1917, Glory, Good Morning Vietnam, and Edge of Tomorrow were all like very split. It was kind of like a 2-2 situation, or 2 and 4 situation. So they were all like split. So we might have to decide between those 4, which 3 of those 4 make the honorable mentions, if that makes sense. So we can maybe vote on that later.
There might be some we need to vote on S because the top ones we might vote on.
Well, no, we're going to vote on that as well. I think the middle part of the S tier, Gone with the Wind, Saving Private Ryan, Paths of Glory, Bridge on It, all of that stuff is pretty solid right there. And then again, Full Metal Jacket, Great Escape kind of just skirt in there. But we can definitely vote on those top 3. So I will say we'll go around the horn. Maybe vote for your number 1 out of those top 3, and we'll go around the horn. Fury, Apocalypse Now, and Inglourious Basterds. So Papa West, what would you vote out of those for the number 1?
Inglourious Basterds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Malcolm?
Apocalypse Now.
Richie?
Apocalypse Now.
I also go Apocalypse Now.
And I will also go Apocalypse Now.
All right. Well, Apocalypse Now makes it number 1. But we can vote on number 2. We can go around on Fury and Inglourious Basterds for the number 2 slot. So in that case, we will go for number 2. We'll go around the horn. So what do you think should be number 2, Papa? Furious or excuse me, not Furious. I'm like Furious 7. Fury, or Inglourious Basterds. Yeah, Furious 7. Yeah, the best war movie. Papa West.
I'm still gonna go with Inglourious Basterds.
Fair enough. Malcolm.
I'm still waiting for the spin-off movie from Mystery Men, Mr. Furious. But I'm gonna go Fury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richie.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Fury.
Inglourious Basterds is like middle Tarantino for me. I still really like it, but in this case, I'm gonna go Fury. I like it more.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm gonna go Inglourious Basterds, but it's close.
It's close. It's 3-2, but Fury's gonna edge it out on this one, so it'll stay Fury and then Inglourious Bastards. So, I get, and I think the rest of the S tier is fairly good, unless anybody else has any objections.
I don't.
I think I'm okay with the rest of that, unless anybody else has any egregious objections. But I think what we'll do is. So out of those 4 that are at the top of A tier, 1917, Glory, Good Morning Vietnam, and Edge of Tomorrow, I think what we'll do is vote which one you think doesn't belong in those 3, just to make it simpler. So which one you would vote out of the honorable mentions? I'm sorry, go ahead.
But what I was about to say is, like 1917, Glory, and Good Morning Vietnam all didn't have a Not a War Movie vote. Edge of Tomorrow was the only one that did. So I'll probably argue that probably 17, Glory, and Good Morning Vietnam should be the 3 honorable mentions.
Maybe, but I was the only one who voted on that, so I'm just saying. I think it's still voted vote because I also voted Schindler's List is not a war movie, so and I got outvoted on that, so I think it's fine with that. But I'd be fine. I think we'll vote it anyways, just to make sure. So we'll say out of those top 4 in the A tier, we'll go around the horn. Which one do you think should be excluded from the honorable mentions? Papa West.
Edge of Tomorrow.
All right. Malcolm.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow is good, but that doesn't belong.
Yeah.
All right. Richie?
Yeah, I actually have to agree here. Edge of Tomorrow.
I'll say the same thing because, I think it's less of a war movie than the other ones.
Yeah.
Jordan?
Well, just because I haven't seen it, I'd have to go Good Morning Vietnam, but that's the only reason why, because I haven't seen it. So,
all right, fair enough. So I think those 3 are fine where they are, right there, as our honorable mentions. So 1917 Glory. All right, so I think we've got our list. I mean, I'm sure we'll get roasted for where's Braveheart, where's All Quiet on the List, all of that. Yeah, but it's like, what are you gonna do? Where's the Patriot? Yeah,
I'm surprised it ended up on this list. I'm surprised. Like, yes, people. Like, we can't have everything on the list. You can't be surprised every time something doesn't make a list.
No.
Yeah. Well, and you just never know with a panel like who's seen what, especially when you include a lot of older movies on there. A lot of less recent stuff. That's just kind of the risk you run. I personally think if people were to see dirty stuff like the Dirty Dozen or whatever, you probably agree. Yeah. But it is what it is.
But yeah,
so
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just surprised that that Saving Private Ryan ended up coming up in the Howell round. I thought for sure it was going to be brought up.
Well, sometimes I think sometimes with these panels, it's like it's so obvious that we just kind of put it off to champion other movies, and then it's like, this one should make it. It's like I think wasn't it like one of the sports movies, like Rudy was like a Hail Mary one, and it's like kind of an obvious one, but it's like nobody wants to kind of waste a pick on it because we want to champion other stuff. Also, it happens a lot.
Yeah, you got to be a little.
Not a war movie. Not a war movie. Jojo Rabbit's not a war movie.
Jojo Rabbit? No, it's probably not.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
in my top 64, but it's not a war.
Yeah. Should we break it down and wrap it up, Jordan? Yeah.
Yeah. So. If you want to break it down for us.
Yeah, sure. So at number 1 tonight, we've got Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. Number 2, we've got Brad Pitt and Fury. Number 3, we've got Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. Number 4, we've got the classic Gone with the Wind. Number 5, Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan. Number 6, Stanley Kubrick's Paths of Glory. Number 7, we've got Bridge on the River Kwai. Number 8, we've got another Spielberg with Schindler's List. Number 9, another Kubrick with Full Metal Jacket. And number 10, the classic POW film, The Great Escape. And our honorable mentions tonight are Sam Mendes' 1917, Denzel Washington in Glory, and Robin Williams' classic film, Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, nice, guys.
All right, good job, everybody. Nicely done. Good job. Good show.
I'm glad you recommended that I watch Bridge on the River Kwai and Pass the Glory, Austin, because they both made S tier. So
I had a feeling. So I said, if you're gonna squeeze in anything last minute, and again, I said Pass the Glory is an easy watch at 85 minutes, and it's available. And Bridge on the River Kwai is long, but I think it's one of the better, kind of classic ones, and it's a slow burn, but it's really, really good. I'm glad we got some older movies on there. I was afraid that we wouldn't get a whole lot of older stuff on there, but at least we got a few of them. I appreciate that. At least got 1 or 2 dad movies on there. Ron Swanson would be probably at least got Bridge on the River Kwai on there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
have wore my Ron Swanson Pyramid of Greatness shirt for this one.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
I actually have a Starship Troopers T-shirt that says "Would you like to know more?" I should have put it on.
Oh, nice. Nice.
All
But
right.
yeah, that'll do it. So yeah,
Excellent.
Thank you guys for joining us for the war movie. So yeah, that was one that I wasn't sure if we were going to get enough people for it, but the last minute we found people. So
It's funny, we've got Arlie Ermey's mouth like right below my face right here, like,
right.
covering up his eyes, but he's scolding us right in the middle of the thing right there.
Yeah. But
all right.
yeah, so plug time. We'll go around the horn if you have anything you want to plug or tell us where we can find you. So we'll start with Papa West. Where can we find you?
You can find me all over the place, especially though TMG Entertainment, where we have our movie debates along with other fun stuff. I'm competing relatively soon, I think. Chat hasn't been made. Where I'm going to destroy someone. I can't remember who it is. That doesn't matter. He's probably a no.
We haven't set a date yet, so he hasn't reached out to me to set a date yet. We'll figure it out, but I'm looking forward to that. No, I always love doing battleground stuff. That'll be fun, Papa. So you know I'm a nice guy, but when I go into character, I go hard. So be ready for that. So yeah.
Thank you for taking my time and my plugs, jerk.
Well, you know, I have to get in there and tell everybody that you will not destroy me. I will absolutely obliterate you. So I have to take some of your time, and it's going to be a slaughter. So be ready.
You use your time to say that.
I'm going to use your time because it's a debate, and God damn it, I'm going to get my shit in. So, there you go.
All right.
Whatever you say. But soon you will lose to someone who is truly better than you. But anyway, I do a relatively weekly show. It's usually like every other week or once in a month called TMG Takes the Field, where I talk about sports. I'm going to be doing something here relatively soon. Jordan would probably be my first guest on it. So I'm just going to throw you in the fire, and we're going to see how it goes.
Sure.
And then I also do TMG Trivia. I do TMG Trivia, which is movie trivia. I run singles and teams. We're doing a singles tournament, and I have a couple teams matches coming relatively soon.
Nice. Sounds good. Malcolm, where can we find you?
You can find me over on Take 3 Productions. I host Rank every week. Last week we did top 12 what of superhero movies we made before the 80s, where we did a fantasy casting thing and guessed who we thought would have been good playing superheroes. It was a lot of fun. Austin was there.
Yeah, it was super fun. If you guys didn't check that out, it was us just doing old school actors and like comic book roles and stuff, and we had a really fun. If you're not as familiar with some of those guys, like it was a really, really fun show. Go back and check it out. We had a good time.
A couple of these from this episode maybe were on that list, I think.
Yeah.
And this week we are doing top 12 acting performances from a Stephen King adaptation. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I also host trivia over on Full Metal. Earlier today we did Jordan Owens took on Will Cohen in a David Krumholtz match. And coming up on
That's oddly specific.
I know.
Jordan was the one that threw out the challenge that he got blindsided because Will picked it up. But you can also find me doing a Edgar Wright trivia match where Chad is taking on Kevin Poss, Chris Diaz, and Louise Buss in Edgar Wright movies, and that's happening at 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday before Rankin.
Nice. Sounds good. And Richie, where can we find you?
On here, hanging out in the shadows most of the time, pitching in. Think the next time I'm on is another tier ranker. I'm just building up the tier ranker ones now. I'm usually but I think the next time I'm on is coming of age tier ranker. So it's fun. And then I think my debate with John Mayer Jamar just got released a few days ago. So go check that out. And I'm always on Jordan Owen's channel doing trivia and whatnot. And then Thursday your time, Friday my time. We're doing we'll be on this channel doing the Lonely Martyrs podcast with Jordan, Jacob, and Austin. We're doing our sort of fantasy card for our draft that we just did. So yeah, we're going to put it together a card, and that should be fun. But I had a lot of fun doing the draft. I think we do definitely need to do another one because there's a lot of names.
No, I'm pretty sure me and Jacob already decided like we definitely want to do like a part 2 of anybody that wasn't drafted and exclude those 120, and then do a whole another one of like with those people omitted. So there's more than enough in history, but you'll have to dig a little deeper and have a little more fun. Yeah, we'll definitely do a follow up for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, yeah, and the only thing I'll plug will be tomorrow night. Myself and Henry Confidential will be doing Let's Rank stuff. It's a big one. Yeah, we're going to be doing Kubrick. So yeah, we'll be talking about some movies that came up tonight in a little more in depth. Obviously, Full Metal Jacket and Paths of Glory, Doctor Strangelove. A lot of those movies will be coming up again tomorrow night. So if you're a Kubrick fan, which I know I should get Chris Scott to tune in, and I'm sure he'll be with us talking about Stanley Kubrick for 2 hours. That'll be fun. So if you want to tune in and see where we rank Kubrick overall, tune into that tomorrow night.
Yeah, and sounds good. And as always, you can find us all over the social media at Movie Hero 2121. You can find us on Facebook in the Shoutout Friends and Family group. We'll be posting the poll from our last episode and this one fairly soon. It's just been a busy week for us, but we'll get
the action movies is in there. I put it up before I went to sleep today.
Okay,
so
cool.
It's up there.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'll have to go cast my vote. I haven't checked it out. So yeah, but and then if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, definitely hit that because it really helps us out. We're doing a big push to get more subscribers and to just like slowly work our way up the hill to getting monetized eventually. But a little preview of what's coming up on the channel. So this Friday we have a fun one. Actually, we're going to be doing Moose Haas's Top 64. I got a message from him earlier today, and like he's super excited for that one. He actually has been talking about it with his whole entire family, like even more than we have spots for. Like more people kind of wish that they could even be a part of it. So he said that like they're all gonna like sit down and actually tune into it and watch it all together. So like that should be a pretty fun one.
Jordan, it's one of the few ones we're gonna have. We're not gonna have any of our regulars like Malcolm or Richie or Papa does take Margaret, like nobody, because it's just gonna be me and Jordan doing the co-hosting thing. But like it's Moose and his family members on the panel, so it's gonna be all of his family judging his movies. So it's gonna be unique. Like if you want to check it out and watch his family kind of roast his picks, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I was almost tempted to just be like a behind the scenes guy for that episode and just run it all and maybe add one more person, but I think it'll work how we have it. So yeah, but and then we have best coming of age movies that Richie mentioned, so that will be next Tuesday. And then Friday we have the premiere of our spinoff series, Tournament Fight Versus, which is going to be me versus Steven Shepard going up with our favorite TV characters of all time. He put in 32, I put in 32, and we'll see what all you guys think, and we'll put it through the tournament fights. Then we also have Jim Carrey versus Robin Williams coming up, so that should be a fun one, a fun powerhouse. Which there's a few small blind spots I got to watch for that, like Good Morning Vietnam. I'll be watching that for that. But and then we have best action movies of the 80s coming up. We have best disaster movies / man versus nature movies. And we have best summer camp movies / movies set in the summertime coming up. So those are some episodes you can look forward to. So there's still
heavy weights.
Yep, heavy weights for sure. That'll be a big contender. But if anyone's tuning in and they want to be a part of that, you can just let me know if you have any ideas for the show. We do have an email that's moviehero2121@gmail.com, and you can just DM me if you have ideas for the show, like topics. We're always open to those, or if you want to be on an episode, just let me know. So but yeah, I think that will do it for us tonight. So that was a fun time. Just over 3 hours, but it's all right. That's not the longest we've had it by
It's the length of a lot of the old war movies, like
Yeah,
Bridge on
right.
the River Kwai,
Yeah,
The Great Escape.
Yep, exactly. Yep. But yeah. So for Papa West, for Malcolm, for Richie, for Austin, for JC, I've been Jordan Movie Hero Anderson, and we will see you next time.